just getting things ready to go now with Dragon Valor, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it to our runner, Hebinx. Go ahead and take it away.
Hebinx, thank you so much, Red, for the introduction. I'm here to play a game today that has maybe a handful of people who recognize it, called Dragon Valor, that originally released and only released on the PS1. I believe it had a digital available download on the Japanese PSN network on the Vita, maybe. This is a sequel slash remake series of the Dragon Buster series that maybe two handfuls of people might know, but we're going to go ahead and get things started. So go ahead and count it down with me, folks. 3, 2, 1, go! So, all the way back on the PS1, Namco had the good graces to give us skippable cutscenes right off the bat. I'm just sitting here mashing start, getting the prologue out of the way, but quick synopsis here. Our main character, Clovis, the dragon comes in, kills the Valor and his entire village and his baby sister. Very tragic, very awful. And we're here to get revenge. That's the main plot of this opening prologue here. But first, tutorials. Because, you know, you need to learn how to get revenge to get your revenge. So here I'm going to be skipping a bunch of prompts here that's going to be teaching me the basic movements and attacks of the game. But for you guys, I am going to be doing that for you. So as we go through the game, I'm going to be holding the L1 button basically the entire time. This is how you run in the game. If I do not hold the L1 button or L2 button, I don't get to run. I just kind of walk along. This game also supports analog movement. I will be using that in key moments like right here. The game has fixed camera angles through a lot of this game, so I will have to strategically switch between D-pad and analog for optimal movement here. Unfortunately, some of the angles that the camera forces you into do not give you optimal movement left-right when you hold the right button. Right here, the game's going to teach me how to crouch, but crouching slow, so instead we're going to do a dash slash through there, or a dash stab. And then hammer blow right into this poor bat, up impale this other bat right here. Those are both moves the game doesn't really teach you how to do. So I'll go ahead and teach you. If you press the crouch button while you're jumping, you will do the hammer blow. If you double jump, because yes, this game has double jumps, you will do what's called an impale attack. So you'll stop all horizontal progression movement and then stab the ground, create a shockwave. It looks very cool. We're going to skip this work because I don't want to fight anything I don't have to fight. That's slow. And while we're cruising through here, no boxes, those are slow too, I'll go ahead and explain some of the way this game plays. So this is an RPG where most of your progression and your growth is tied behind items. So right here, after it loads in, I just got my first magic spell, Fire, and I'm going to go ahead and switch that in the menu now. By opening, you open it by pressing triangle. You can cancel out of casts and other animations by doing that. And so in case I go to do a secondary cast of a spell and an enemy's already dead, to save MP, I will cast cancel. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of that later. Oh, baby, a triple. There we go. I love to see it. That's how we know we're on the run. So I know I've been talking over it for a long time. I love the soundtrack of this game. I fell in love with this after my cousin introduced it to me when I was in middle school, staying at his place for the summer. And ever since, I've always wanted to get up here on stage and play this game. So hopefully I can introduce this to maybe another 2 or 3 handfuls of people. Maybe I'll be interested in what's going on here. Got bad RNG here on the Cerberus. Normally it's supposed to sit still and take a triple slash there, but sometimes it can get up and do an immediate lunge attack. Instead, you'll see that recoil that it does. That's slow, but not the end of the world. Like a second loss there. And we're already at our first dragon. We're less than 5 minutes into the run. This is Rage, the dragon that slew our village and our baby sister, and we gotta get revenge. And you would think that dragons are fine with fire. This one's not. So fireball, fireball, and a big old hammer blow. Oh, bad RNG here on the counterattack. So this game plays like a beat 'em up. You'll see that enemies do have RNG to their attack patterns. We're gonna throw a fireball to the head there. Dodge some fire. We do have double jumping available to us. And just listen to that soundtrack cranking. Namco spared no expense for the music in this game. Phase transition right here into a knockdown attack, and the dragon's down. Revenge in less than 5 minutes. Let's go. So as we wait for the game to catch up for our blazing speed here, we're going to go through a prologue sequence where Clovis watches another baby dragon hatch out of Rage. This is going to be Titan, get away, and he swears revenge on that dragon as well. So while we are revenge pandering to our next chapter here, Red, do you have anything for the audience?
Yeah, actually, first of all, we do have a $50 donation from Izala with no comment, but thank you very much. Every dollar, of course, goes to Nami, and every bit helps. So thank you very much for that. And of course, I just want to remind people we have some prizes that are going until the end of this run. We have the Chocobo and the Moogle Small Cube plushies. We also have we have the Chocobo Large plush. We also have a couple of Switch games, the Romancing Saga 2 and Romancing Saga 3 for the Switch. All those are open until the end of this run, so get your money in for those with your donations.
Awesome, thank you very much. So you saw right there in that opening sequence there, I was actually running at a very specific angle. If you're only on D-pad, so like let's say you have a PlayStation 1, you're playing this game and it doesn't have analog support, you have to flicker between the up and right inputs to actually get up that street there. Here we're going to fight a couple warriors, and this is the introduction to our drop system and how we get upgrades from enemies. So defeating enemies, you have two methods to do so. You have physical attacks right here, and what I'm doing is the dash slash. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of that later. And then you have the method of defeating them, which is with magic. And as you defeat enemies, there's a hidden counter in the background that determines the drops you'll get. So right there, I just picked up a strength up gem. Accidentally missed my kill there, but that's okay. We'll get one later. There are two upgrades that drop from the kill methods. You have strength up gems for every X amount of physical kills you get, and then you have magic MP increasing scrolls for every amount of magic kills you get. So in this next area, I'm going to go ahead and try to force a magic kill so I can get one of those drops. MP management's very key in this game. There is no natural mana regen. Instead, you have to manage pickups here. And here's our introduction to the overworld. It's very much Super Mario World-esque. I'm going to choose a few locations. There's a couple branching paths. Thankfully, in this route, mashing X will always get you the optimal destination. And if you notice there, the character moved on the overworld. I have to press start every time I choose a destination to make Clovis move faster, or he'll just kind of take his time meandering to the next destination, and that's slow. So we gotta, a sense of urgency is here. We're here to get revenge, and revenge is taken quickly. Right there, you saw me perform a block. That is, in true Namco style, executed with a neutral input. You have to hold no direction on the stick or D-pad. We're going to do a couple backflips here for style to get through this room, because that ninja loves to dive kick at us, but you have iframes while you are doing backflips there. A lot of fighting game terminology I'm going to use during this. So let's say the dash slash puts enemies in a crumpled state. If you're familiar with fighting games, I will use that terminology. I'll do my best to explain it as we go. But iframes are basically invincibility frames. You cannot be hurt while you're backflipping and blinking like that. You can also cancel out of the first backflip into a dive kick. That's not very good though. It's not great for damage, and it takes away your iframes. So you won't really see me doing that during the run. Up here we have two Rhynids. They have a ton of physical resistance, but if we just chuck some fireballs here, we make some short work of these guys, and we're already done with this next level here. We're going to be cruising through here. We got Black Tome. This is Mind Magic. I'm going to go ahead and switch now while we wait for the jingle to finish. Every time I finish a level from now on, you're going to hear that lovely little jingle. So when you hear that chime, that means the level's over. Moving on to Raxus City proper. They really went hard in the first chapter in this game. A lot of the levels have great soundtracks here. Raxus, you're going to hear multiple times throughout the run, is a key location lore-wise to Dragon Valor. And those wisps, unfortunately, make that sound effect the whole time they're on the screen. They also follow you based on your inputs. So if I were to just stop right now, not holding the inputs, those wisps would no longer follow me. They only move towards the character as you hold a directional input. So even if I'm knocked down, or if I'm in a stuck animation in, let's say, an impale state, I have to hold an input to get them to move closer to me. We'll see it in motion here in this hallway. So I'm going to run into this hallway and run past all the wisps, because there's an orc at the end of this right here. I want to get both of these guys. Unfortunately missed. Got me with an arrow, cheeky. But holding the directional input here so we can get them to move towards me. Got that magic pickup there, and we're going to go ahead and cruise on over here. And we're going to fight a lizard man with a bunch of wisps again. So instead, I'm going to run down right here, pick up this max HP pickup. That chalice gives me 8 maximum HP. We're going to blow him up once, blow him up twice, get our scroll that we didn't get earlier. And can I get this health pickup? Yes. Alrighty. So like I mentioned earlier, scrolls are based on the amount of enemies you kill with magic attacks. Now, for whatever reason, if I kill an enemy and they fly off screen and I miss picking up that scroll, no worries. The next enemy I defeat with magic will instead drop a scroll. In some instances, my kill count might get a little bit off, and then I might miss a pickup here and there. Thankfully, the game keeps the counter in the background, so you might see me pick up 2 scrolls at once in a group. This is our first unskippable shop. There are unskippable shops. I can skip cutscenes, but I can't skip the shopkeeper. Keep notice of this man. He's a menace. He's immortal, never aging. He follows me throughout the entire game, even into the underworld. Yes, this man has real estate in the underworld, while the rest of us can't afford homes. But Red, while I see this man, every time I see this man, if you could just tell the lovely audience something about the charity, I would love that. So Red, you have anything for me?
As a matter of fact, I do. You might not like shops, but I'm actually happy to announce that RPG Limit Break has shops. They recently announced their own merchandise store. They've got hoodies, they've got coffee mugs. I've already seen a bunch of people here at the event that have them, and they're great. They've got the logo, they've got desk mats, and all the proceeds go to the funding RPG Limit Break itself, so we can keep bringing you these events live. And that store is live at store.rpglimitbreak.com.
Awesome, thank you very much. Now you saw me just quote-unquote arbitrarily jumping right there. Those enemies swing their tentacles based on your Z position. So if I'm in the air, you'll see them do that upward thrust. If I'm on the ground, they'll do that swipe. Unfortunately, they're on an awkward timer, so it's best to just kind of jump and set intervals and try to get that. I did not get the triple here. This orc likes to run to his buddy after shooting you. Very rude, but instead we're going to get a couple hammer blows here and move on. Hammer blow again is executed by doing a single jump, pressing crouch in the air. If I want to do an impale, it stops all my horizontal movement. So if I want to keep on the move, hammer blows are key. If I have a big group of enemies I don't mind sitting still for, then the good old impale will bring it to town. These mines are proximity triggered. If I jump over them, they will explode. And over here, we have a couple of Armor Knights that could easily try out for the NBA and probably get in. These guys can jump in insane heights in full armor. These guys are decked to the nines, and they can jump like 10 feet in the air. I'd hate to see how high they can jump without that armor on. But a couple of mines right here will put the enemies down. Early game mine magic is very strong. Not only does it have high damage at low MP cost, but it also has... nope, missed it. It's all right. It has a really weird effect where enemies of a certain body type will induce a juggle. They'll get knocked up by the first explosion, land on the after explosion, and you'll get double damage. So even though it's a little slow on the startup, mine magic is kind of key to this opening run here. Over here we have our first introduction of a section where you do not have to defeat all the enemies. So I can run past this knight, I can run past this knight, see these archers blow up this knight in particular. Did not get my block off, accidentally held it down. I put right there, pick up this key, and we say goodbye to you guys. Have fun guarding the gate. I'm already in the castle. Right here we have our very first route decision. I'm playing the Kadum route tonight, which is currently world record route. If I were to take her right down there and save the princess, Celia, I would not only be staying true to the original game, I would be proceeding down the soul route. But unfortunately, soul route is a little slow. Right now, we don't have a lot of people who have workshop soul route, so for now it's slower. So instead, we're going to say, see you later, princess. We're just going to go ahead and fight our dragon. We're more interested in revenge. We're going to see if I can group up these 2 knights right here. Missed. Unfortunately, it's okay, but we're going to go ahead and get an impale. Nope. This archer's going to back up very cheekily. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple dash cancels right here. Now, the cool thing about this crumple state that I mentioned earlier, normally when you knock down enemies, they go into, they get iframes, they're in an invincible state. If you put an enemy in a crumple state with that dash slash, yes, the screen slows down, but they also lose iframes. They do not get iframes, so I can hack them while they're down on the ground, getting an OTG right there. Here we have the evil knight Volef, who has assisted the dragon in kidnapping the princess. He's kind of a chump, though, so we're just going to blow him up. So right now he starts off with iframes. We're going to put a mine right under his foot, hammer blow. Place another mine right here. He's going to try to attack me, but backflips are cool. They're so cool, in fact, they make me immune to damage. And we're going to do it again. Another backflip for style. Missed my input right there. It's okay. Backflip for style. Blow him up again. Upward impale, just for the memes. And one more backflip. We'll do a double backflip on him. And tell you what, Chad, I'll go ahead and do a dive kick just for you. And that's Volef down. Yeah, the massive polygons did not stand a chance against explosions. As we move on to the Alchemist Tower here, we're going to go ahead and get into a section here that's going to show off the power of iframes. So there's going to be a spike trap right here at the beginning after we walk through this front door. And normally you would have to wait for it to go down. It spikes up. It has active hitbox the entire time the spikes are up. However, if I would go up here, turn around, and then time a backflip, I can do iframes and get through those spikes. And if I hold right here, trust in me, chat, trust it, here he comes, and misses. If I hold right that entire time through that hallway after I do that backflip, I'll never get hit by that knight. Never, ever, ever. Right here, we have a new player trap right here, not very friendly. So up the spiral staircase, there's going to be color indicators that match the ones on the floor here for each lever that lower spikes or raise spikes depending on the position. The setting every time is red, blue, green. Don't touch the yellow lever ever. And right here's another showing of the optimal analog angle. So as I hold this correct angle right here on the analog stick, I could go up smoothly through the staircase. If I were to hold right on the D-pad right here, this would force me into doing a weird wiggle, where if I hold right, it would actually make me fall off these steps. Yes, you can fall off these steps. It's very mean, but we don't want to do that slow. Right here, we're going to see if we could dash cancel chain right here. So I'm going to do dash attack this enemy and try to get him every time in a crumple state to avoid iframes. Here we go. Perfect. Didn't even stand a chance. If I were to miss any of those inputs, he would go into an invincibility iframe attack where he sprays poison gas very slow. Not killing is very slow. Right here we fight the alchemist Ryman. He's dressed up like a samurai. And he is very squirrely. Let's see how he behaves for me tonight, for you, chat. One. Now, I can't do this one more time. Instead, I have to change up my attacks. The game is programmed to make it to where if I try to do the same input 3 times on an enemy, they get wise to my tactics. So I have to switch it up. I'll always be doing different stuff. Here he goes, on the move, just like Ryman likes to do, throwing out his potions. A little slow right here. I'm going to get hit by Oh, nope, not hit. Oh, there he goes. And the funny thing about the spawn that ends the level trigger here, depending on the side of the room that Ryman collapses on, depends on where that yellow tome spawns. If he falls down on the left, the tome spawns on the right. If he falls on the right like he did, it spawns on the left. Weird coding thing. But that's Ryman. That yellow tome gave us defense magic. You'll never see any of us use that during the run. It has no use. All it does is increase your physical defense, but attacks where it's at. It also increases the range of your attacks. It makes your sword glow yellow, but that's not really good because most of the time magic is going to be more beneficial. As I go through the Zelda-S segment here, Red, if you have anything for the chat, now is a great time.
So, of course, we do know that all of our donations are going to Nami, but there's also incentives that you can donate for future runs. One that we've got coming up for Bite and Kaya 1 HD is to get the infamous shampoo bottle. There's also several others for that same game, such as choosing the 4th companion, naming the spirit, and fighting the final boss at 200% speed, because we're not already going fast enough, we've got to double it up.
Awesome, thank you very much. So you'll notice right there, those scaly boys wake up, and a lot of them just immediately choose violence. They reconstitute and just start swinging. So I have to make sure I pre-jump to get over them. One of the things I haven't talked about with jumps here is jumping is entirely momentum based, and what you can accidentally do sometimes if you're starting from a stand is what I call a 1-frame jump. So if you try to jump within the first 2 frames of starting a run, you'll actually jump at walk speed. So you'll get a neutered jump there, and it will really impact your platforming. So trying to make sure you jump at the correct frame start up there is key. We're going to push this block onto this button right here and go into our next fight. Volef has been revived by the dragon, giving a cooler set of armor and a mask to cover up that Shanaz. Unfortunately, they had to bolt on a couple extra accessories there to get it fully covered. But, you know, good old mind magic. It really does us well here. Now, I do have to stick to a very strict attack pattern here. I have to wait for him to land on the ground. He might stab me here. Nope, didn't get me. And he has the chance to cancel out of attacks. Yep, he got me right there. He just walks towards me menacingly. Yep, here we go. Giving me a bad pattern here. We're going to go ahead and double back up. Yes, he could cancel out into that spin attack right there on any of my slashes. So I have to keep my iframes to combat his iframes. And down the big guy goes. And he's going to give us our first instance of stealth magic. This is going to be very important later, but for right now, we got dragons to slay. So Volef is going to run away from us and go and tell Titan, please, I need more help. And Titan's going to be like, dude, I helped you enough, fire breath. And down goes Volef off screen right here. And we're going to skip all these cutscenes. Hopefully the synopsis is working well for you, chat. This is our second dragon fight of the game. And I don't know if I've explained it yet. Oh, bad start right here. It's okay. But every dragon has a weak spot. They will have a spot that not only gives them a unique recoil animation, but does extra damage. Titan's is his tail. And a lot of times when you hit the weak spot on dragons, not only will they take extra damage, they will do the same animation over and over again. So what I'm doing right here is hitting Titan's weak spot over and over again to try to force an animation lock. All the dragons in the game at a certain HP threshold will undergo a transformation. They'll stand up or they'll do a different special stance. I missed a mine right there. See if I could recover. Unfortunately, I couldn't. We'll see if the game plays nice with me right here, but if he undergoes his transformation, he'll get iframes, go into a stance that's a little more deadly. I will need to focus up. No, we got the skip. Awesome. He animation glitched. Let's go. And with that, our revenge has truly been achieved with Clovis. He finds peace after slaying the dragon. Now, since we did not save the queen, or save the princess, we did not marry the princess and become king of Raxus. Instead, we marry Carolina, and we have a son named Codell. So this game spans generations. After some time here, Clovis is driven mad by the absence of the magic sword that he's using and the presence of a dragon. So he abandons his wife and son and goes on the recluse. Meanwhile, Codell, being self-taught, becomes a pirate hunter to help support him and his mother with the family magic sword. This introduces an interesting element to the game, which is with every generation that we proceed through the game, each of our protagonists will develop their own unique fighting style changes. So right here, you'll notice that the third attack that Codell did right there, that swing, is actually an overhead swing as opposed to a horizontal slash that his father used. And throughout the generations, that martial art change will persist. So every protagonist we play on from now on, that third slash will be a wide overhead swing. It has very good hit frame data. And is generally just good to use. Meanwhile, we're going to make chumps of these pirates here. This last pirate right here, we don't have to fight. We only actually had to take down the big guy. So the other guy is just going to stand around. Which way to go? Which way to go? And we're going to ignore him. Right here, we're going to break this box for safety. There's a talisman in here. This is one of the few items that persist through generations. So those scrolls and those chalices I got last time do not pass down through the family line to Codell here. He now has his own natural MP and HP, and I'll have to re-earn chalices and scrolls to build back my MP and HP bars. However, that talisman right there and a few other items in the game will persist throughout the generations. So every successor from Codell here onward will have increased defense by 1. That's not only for marathon safety there, it's just in general safety. A lot of the bosses are mean, and they like to beat me up. These ninjas coming at me. I'm going to go ahead and stand right here and hold a neutral pose just until the door opens. See you later. Right here, we're going to go ahead and run past here, and you hear that thing winding up off the side. There comes the spikes. We're going to grab the swag tee right here. This tee is never used. You could use it at the shops, but shops are slow, so we're just going to grab the tee for swag. Right here, we're going to have 4 enemies right here, and we're going to try to group them up for these traps. Traps can be used to hurt enemies. So I'm going to try to trigger these arrows to damage the enemies, because not only can they fire and hurt multiple times through iframes, it's just kind of easier than popping around. Unfortunately, some enemy attacks are very quick. Got a couple attacks off right there. This ninja's coming in at me. He's coming in at me hard. There we go. Dodge the arrow. Can I get a second? Thank you very much, Mr. Trap, for the assist. And we get a Violet Tome there. That's for Vortex Magic. We never use Vortex Magic in this run. Basically creates a small black hole and sucks enemies into it. The more we level up the magic, the stronger and larger the black hole gets, eventually sucking in enemies from all aspects of the screen. But I think we only get level 1 Vortex Magic through the whole run, if I'm remembering correctly. So, here in the Kadeli Canal, we get our spoils and we jump off the ship. And now we're washing up on the shore on to fight some more knights. So while I beat up some more knights and pirates, Red, if you have anything for the chat, feel free.
First of all, I just want to say that chat is loving your commentary today.
Oh, thank you very much.
And of course, once again, RPG Limit Break is proud to partner with the Yeti, who have designed 3 exclusive shirts, and we also have a pin for this year's event. If you'd like to see those awesome designs, please visit theyeti.com/RPGLB. And Yeti is YETBE. Remember, these items are only available during the marathon, so make sure you get those before it's too late.
Awesome, thank you very much. So right there, you saw me actually do a one-frame jump after jumping into those boxes. It's a hazard of that section here. Speaking of hazards, these starfish are a menace. This entire game, I'm going to have problems with starfish. I'm just going to let you know right now, chat. They have incredibly small hitboxes. They lunge at you randomly. They have active frames on their lunges that are gigantic. Like, the lunge on them, even though they come off like maybe a foot off the ground, is like 6 feet tall. So I have to be very cautious of starfish of all things. Right here we have a group of pirates. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can dash slash. Nope. I got clipped by one of them. It's okay though. I'm getting beat up. It's okay. We will get some health later. I'm going to go ahead and pop a safety heal right here. Nope. Don't have enough MP for it. So I'm going to go ahead and go on backup strats. Yeah, healing costs a lot of MP in this run. So it starts at 10, works all the way up to like 14 MP. Gonna grab a healing file right here and pop a heal just for safety. Remenu over there to Mind Magic. The menu does wrap. Unfortunately, my brain just thinks that down is a faster input than up a lot of the time, so you'll see me take the slow way. Apologies for that. Another pirate right here. These pirate thugs are weird specifically because they have active iframes for longer than they blink a lot of the times. One of their attacks gives them iframes. Mr. Pirate, please. Anyways, the knives are unnecessary. Working our way through the canal here. You know, littered through the streets, you'll find crates, you'll find items, but, you know, mines are also part of the municipalities that we place in our cities, right? You know, the city was built by Michael Bay, and we have to respect that. Moving on to this room here, 3 starfish. None of them did the immediate lunge at me, and giant crab hit the weak spot for massive damage, and the weak spot being explosions. Grab some backup MP and HP right here. Grab the orange tome. This is thunder magic. It is actually lightning, but a lot of JRPGs love to call lightning magic thunder. This one is no exception to the rule. And we're through the canal, onto the city proper. We'll see an opening cutscene right here, where Fauna is attacked by a knight, and her soul is stolen and taken away. We'll get more into the implications of that later, but first, another NBA All-Star over here. That knight coming in at me hard. Let's see if he drops a scroll. No scroll. Let's move on. Again, those guys got ups. Mad props to them. Put a basketball in any of their hands, and they are an all-star. More. We have an alleyway full of evil starfish, chat. I can't get enough of these guys. They really love me and my seafaring antics over here. We're going to blow these 2 up while I grab the strength up gem. Perfect. Move on to Aruban Pirates. I don't actually have to fight, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, see you later. Let's go. Grab some backup magic right here, or HP, my bad. And the game's going to try to force me into a spike trap and say, no way. Jump over it. This game is very... The game moves as well as it looks, chat. The controls are very tight. All my inputs are very accurate, and unfortunately that means I have no room for excuse when I flub an input. That means I goofed and I messed up there. Unfortunately. We're going to try to group up these pirates. Every time you have enemies in far away positions, typically it's best strategy to try to group them up and hit them with large attacks. We're going to go ahead and get our second yellow tome. The game really wants me to use defense magic, but I'm all about the offense, guys. Let me tell you. I chose violence. And again, we have another NBA player from downtown. I say no way, Jose, though, and we're going to go keep moving on. No good drops right here. Break these crates, grab this health pickup right here. And we're on to fight Robert. Robert is actually the father of Fauna that we saw for like 2 milliseconds in that prior cutscene. And he is angry at us. So this knight's going to steal Fauna's soul. Robert is going to get mad at us. He thinks that we're the one who instigated the soul stealing here. And he's going to choose to fight us. Instead, we're going to blow him up in retaliation because, you know, self-defense. And he's going to start trying to blow us up. He's the only other enemy in the game who's decided, you know what, explosions. Besides Raimund here. Going to laugh at us every time, watching us run around for his amusement, but we're going to say, that's not cool, dude. Please don't do that. immediately chose up and decided to do an attack pattern. That's normally not what he does, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and do a backup strat right here. Give me the business here. Normally, he does that little dash and swing on his second explosion. So for him to not do that, not only is it slow, it kind of throws off my rhythm here, but it's okay. We got backup strats. We practice, right? Ah, big attack. He's got moves, man. But not good enough. And down he goes. So we learned from Robert after we beat some sense into him that the signal from our father to him to stop him in his moment of madness was to steal his daughter's soul. Unfortunately, we tell Robert, dude, I just beat you up, so what chance do you stand against my father who beat a dragon? So instead, we opt to go save Fauna in his stead, heading headlong into the abandoned mine. In here, I'm a little low on HP, so I'm going to be trying to play it safe. Meanwhile, while I'm playing it safe, Red, do you have anything for chat?
Well, chat's not too happy that all those starfish had to go, but that's what they get.
Look, it was self-defense. I have, that's the only thing I have to say. So while we're moving through the mines here, I will go ahead and explain a couple other movement points of the game, and generally how we like to try to manipulate enemy HP for certain behaviors. In this next room up here, there are going to be a group of zombies that come up only when I get into proximity of them. Now, zombies, when they get to near about 40% HP, what they'll do is they'll go into an animation where they get into a crumple state and they start to fall in half. And during this entire slow animation, they have iframes. I can't hurt them during it. And they'll fall in half. They'll become like a half corpse on the ground. They'll lunge at you. It's not very fun. So what instead I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do 2 impales, or an impale and a hammer blow, and then a dash attack into a crumple, and then, oh, didn't clip, but it's okay. We got a backup. Do the same thing for this enemy right here. We're going to try to get both of them grouped up right here. Unfortunately, they pushed me away, but I have a backup right here. And down this one goes. And there's the crumple. Very slow, very unfortunate, but down that zombie goes. All dropping mushrooms. You'll notice these mushrooms throughout this entire run, and you'll notice I'll be definitely trying to avoid them. That's because they hurt you. Every time you pick up a mushroom, not only does it take away some of your HP, it restores a tiny bit of mana, but also puts you in a really slow, lumbering state for a little while. So going slow is slow, chat. It's news to me, I know. And so we're going to try to avoid that this entire time. We have a hallway full of zombies here. So what I'm going to try to do instead for this hallway is try to literally push these zombies together with a combination of dash slashes and crumple states to try to just get everybody down. Now, if I crumple the zombies, they can't fall apart on me. So that's what I'm trying to force right here and get them to all perish before falling apart. Perfect. And now we have another group of 3 zombies right here. Oh, baby, got all of them. Can I get all 3 of them again? This is very involved for mine music. Usually it's a little more melancholy and lethargic for mine music, but the drummer didn't get the memo. He's here for the percussion. Right here, we're going to skip a top section up here by just running up, jumping to the right, getting our momentum, and we skip that entire navigation in the upper area. Normally, you have to go left and then down and then right, and that's slow, so instead, we're just going to go ahead and jump across. And you'll see that a lot. Platforming is key to getting around this game quickly. Up here, we're going to push a button and pop on down through this gate. We were actually in this room before, but we couldn't open this door. We had to go through a set of doors to press a button to open doors. That's going to be a recurring thing. Say hello to Rockchan, chat. I call this Rock Demon Rockchan because he's the kindest monster you'll see in this game. He'll never hurt me. Never, ever. He'll flip over me. He'll do all sorts of cute antics, but you'll never see him actually do damage to me. So we give him what he wants. He wants blow-uppies, and I can't say no to blow-uppies. So right here, we're going to use slopes to our advantage right here. That does preserve our increased momentum, and try to jump as soon as we land on a downward slope to preserve our forward momentum by not getting slowed down. 2 lizard men right here. They have incredibly long range with those spears. Not the attack I want to see, but it can happen. Thankfully, I have backup HP literally right there off screen. A second stab right there, and giving me the business, unfortunately. But we're going to give him the business instead. down he goes. No magic drop, so our second rock demon fight over here might be a little hairy. Meanwhile, I'm going to push these giant blocks in a very specific way. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to pull this other larger pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4. You would think a larger pillar would take a little bit more effort, but no, they all take about the same. And I am going to eat a mushroom right here. It is faster than trying to dodge both of them. That's going to give us just enough MP to take down our second Rock-chan over here. Hi, chat. Say hi to Rock-chan. Give him blow-uppies. A 1, a 2, a 3. And on to the next section we go. So this is the first time you see an overworld movement where not pressing start would be very, very, very slow. So it's always key that I press start as soon as I start navigation right here. Linton Forest is kind of a gauntlet. It gives me Mortal Kombat Acid Pit vibes, but that's just the fighting game enthusiast in me. And right here, more wisps with an orc that does love to run away. Thankfully, while holding down the inputs, I could get the will-o-wisps to follow me. And through the door we go. And that organ is just going to town. Hello, Mr. Arrow. Goodbye, Mr. Arrow. And now we have a room full of zombies that I will trigger one at a time while the wisps chase me down. But again, we stick to our strict attack patterns and we get our takedowns on these zombies. A lot of the times the zombies will drop mushrooms, so I'll try to get away from them as soon as they fall. But every now and again I'll get a strength drop, and in that case, you'll see me run and grab one of those because every time I could do more damage is great. However, that does change the way I approach these zombies. If I change, since my strength increased, I now have to adapt my attack pattern accordingly because I'm now doing more damage. And if I don't watch it, I'll force that invincible crumple state on them before I want to see it. Running over here, we're going to break this barricade and grab our chalice. That's our first health upgrade for Codell here. And the game slowly peppers these out in very obvious locations through the run. The devs obviously wanted you to get up to a certain HP threshold as we're going through. Normally I would use Mind Magic right here, but unfortunately my magic routing has not been very nice to me. So instead we're going to just do a couple impales over and over and over again. Those lizardmen actually have the chance to not only just drop a mushroom, but they can drop what's called a magic power bottle, which gives me infinite MP. However, they were not so kind today, so I'm going to break these crates to get a backup magic drop right here, 30 MP. That's going to put me back on track for magic routing. No worries at all. And right here, we're going to see our first encounter with a very menacing enemy, the Mantis. Thing loves to fly in from off screen. It has hitbox iframes for days. Very wonky hitbox, but thankfully this one goes down pretty smooth. We fight a Mantis later. Kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. He has incredibly high HP, but we won't see him till the next generation. So on to Clovis's Fortress. This is the only route in the game where you actually fight Clovis. The other route in the game has him pass away from old age. So really interesting fight here. He retains a lot of his skills that you have. He is your father, of course. He helped train to fight you. So you'll see him do iframe backflips. You'll see him cast fireballs. You'll see him do the desperation attack you'll never see me do because that makes me slow. A very interesting fight casually. And hopefully, if I route it correctly, a very smooth fight speedily. All right, over here we got another NBA player. Here he comes to save the day. We're going to try to lure these knights all together. Sometimes the enemies just don't want to move. They're just like, bro, I'm not about it. I'm here. I'm doing my job. So I respect that, and I will come to you. Fair is fair. And something to talk about while we're running up here, all enemies in the game do have some sort of elemental weakness. There is about 8 spells in the game varying elements. The knights are actually weak to the lightning attributed magic. However, Mind Magic gets the double pop-up there, so it's more optimal to use right now. You'll see me use Thunder 1 a little bit here on other enemies while I try to get through these centaurs here. I mean, rhinoids. Do a backflip to see if I get past them. Oh, there we go. And there we go. Some rooms you don't even have to fight at all, and you have to do a puzzle element or puzzle, hit a couple switches. Right here is a very important moment, Chad. I need you to help me open this door. If I don't open this door, I don't get on the right route. Behind this door is a soul. Don't ask me how a door is stuck behind a soul. I guess it's because they don't have hands. What do you know? But now we've freed Fauna's soul. She can go back to her body. If we do not free Fauna's soul, she does not get out of the castle until later. And when we finish up Codel's chapter here, she does not like that very much. She's very upset with you that you did not save her soul, and then she refuses to marry you. However, now that we have saved her soul from our evil father, she's now smitten with us, and we will proceed on to the fastest storyline we have. I'm going to go ahead and switch the mind magic right here. I'm going to pick up this blue magic that drops from that lizard, and I'm going to grab some backup magic potion right here. Pick up an HP pot as well, and we are on to fight our father. Very silent walk into the room here. The tensions are high. Father versus son, never been done before in stories, I tell you. And let's see how Clovis starts off. Sometimes he likes to start off by throwing magic at me. Not today, he's going to swing at me. So the idea here is to try to do mind magic into hammer blows, just like I did against Volov here. The idea being that not only... Oh, missed one. Not only does it push him away, but it does a ton of damage. I want to push him away because that attack right there does a ton of damage, and it puts me in a recovery state. However, Clovis is very kind to me. Thank you, Dad. And he went down fairly easily today. Giving Dad a good beating knocks the sense back into him, mostly because of the magic sword. And he now comes to his senses and tells us that he's been driven mad not only by being parted from the magic sword for so long, but there's a dragon in the volcano. And now it's up to us as the successor to the Dragon Valor bloodline to slay said dragon. Now, we go through Linton Highlands here. This is our first exposure to vertical movement. Normally, the game wants you to go down there into that pit and hop over those blocks. That's really slow. So we're just going to do some optimal double jumping, as the Barclay family loves to do. Double jumping runs in their veins. And we're going to just double jump our way through a lot of slow movement. I'm going to try to get these attacks off as I come down landing here. These these mushroom spores love to shoot out that attack. When I get hit by it, it puts me in a slow walk state. So instead, we preemptively swing on the downward to make sure that we hit them to stop that from happening. Over here, we're going to fight another assassin mantis coming in from downtown. Really out for me today. Like I said, these guys are mean. But instead, we're going to choose to beat them back. And he dropped HP. Normally, I would pop a heal spell here, but he saved me the time. Full MP. We're back. Now, Chad, I'm going to tell you a little secret here, a little secret about life that Dragon Valor has taught me. And that is that if it can't see you, it can't hurt you. So, for instance, we have this giant pool of acid right here. Well, if I'm invisible, I could just walk on it, right? It can't see me, so it can't hurt me. There you go. Problem solved. I kid. But yes, stealth magic makes you impervious to a lot of things, enemy attacks included. And a lot of our obstacles and traps that we see can just be averted by just casting a simple stealth spell. The downside to stealth is that you lose the shadow underneath your character there that helps you with aerial positioning. So while you have stealth magic active, platforming is very difficult. I have to be very tight with my timing and movement to know where I am positionally to land on platforms and other things as we go. And we're actually right into the hard section immediately. Under Volcano, we use stealth magic a lot to walk on lava here. Yes, you heard me right. We are going to be walking on lava here by just turning invisible. That's how that works, right? But right here, this flaming platform, the game wants me to use ice magic to cool it off, but that's slow. So instead, we're just going to do a nice little double jump right there. Got it the first try. That one's usually pretty tricky. And the whole time, you're going to see me here burning through MP to keep my stealth magic up at key moments. Don't worry, the Volcano is very generous with its MP restoration. So you won't have to worry about me running out of MP here. As a matter of fact, right here, since we haven't seen one yet, this is our introduction to magic power. So now, while my MP gauge is flickering like this, I have unlimited magic. I could just keep casting it over and over. If I get an MP, if I get a scroll while I have this active, it will immediately push up to max MP. Unfortunate right there. My timing was a little off on that jump, so I wasn't able to refresh. Got a mushroom right there, but it's okay. We're just going to go ahead and have some backup. We have a backup potion we have available to us, but a couple more jumps and we are through it. Gonna go ahead, and there's an MP restore right here, so, and an HP restore. Just gonna go ahead and grab that. and switch over to Ice Magic. That's fire. Wrong input. There we go. And we're off to fight the twin-headed dragons, Hellfire and Inferno. This dragon has a unique gimmick where it has no real weak spot. Instead, it has a spell weakness that you have to use to get rid of its invincibility. These twin-headed dragons are shrouded in flames, and you cannot damage them until you cast Ice Magic on them. Now, you might be thinking, well, Heb, if you need to use Ice Magic, isn't that kind of bad if you run out of magic during this fight? And yes, however, with scroll routing, one, that alleviates that for the speed run, but two, on a casual run, these dragons will do a breath attack that leaves a trail of fire, and when the trail of fire disappears, they'll drop magic restore potions. But hopefully we won't need those MP potions. We're just going to go ahead and keep double hitting these double dragons and keep going on with the head swing. Very easy pattern here. Unfortunately, I might mess it up a little bit here. While it is a repeat pattern, the hit frames are a little wonky. I do not want to hit these dragons individually. Sometimes what can happen is you won't click both of their hitboxes at the same time. You'll hit one and the other, and you'll get them in a staggered pattern. When that happens, unfortunately, you'll get them thrown off pattern, but it looks like we got a perfect pattern here today. Let's go. Dragon Revenge number 3 done. They're going to do a nice little fire spit. Down, down. We're going to pick up our Spoils of War here, which is an upgrade to our stealth magic, and we are done with Chapter 2 already. Red, do you have anything for us?
I do. In fact, we actually have a $50 donation from Lori Laddie. It says, hey, Heb, it's amazing that you got to show off your first speed game off at a marathon. Nugget and I are cheering you on. Shoutouts to RPGLB raising money for a great cause.
That is my beautiful wife at home with our son. Love you very much. Thank you for supporting me through all of this. So, as we go through these unskippable cutscenes, or skippable cutscenes here, we learned that Codell did marry Fauna and had a son named Philip. They then opened a mercantile business, and they are seafaring merchants. So in Chapter 3 here, we are going to be playing Philip as he is attacked on his merchant ship on the way to an island. He's going to be attacked by demons, but he is armed because, you know, as you go on boat voyages, you take your dad's magic sword with you. Of course, you never leave home without it. We're going to see if I can do a cool clip right here. Yeah, that's what I like to see, the double mine upward magic. The Z-axis is very interesting in this game, and it's used to our advantage a lot of the times. There's a pendant up here in the top right corner that'll give me +1 max HP. I don't think I'm going to get it before I stop. No, is what it is. The scroll is more important there. So during this Vapula, a large rotund demon will attack the ship, knock Philip off, and we will be washed ashore here to Pele Beach. And we'll actually run into the Princess of Jairat. She'll wake us up on the beach, tell us that there's another magic sword here, and we learn the existence of other magic swords. And we're like, that sounds interesting, but let's just go ahead and get off this beach first. So as you do when you survive swimming for your life and washing up ashore, let's go for a run along the beach, chat. Let's do it. It's very scenic here. It's very beautiful. And oh my goodness, there's starfish and arrows. And what is happening at this beach? There couldn't be anything else over here. There's explosives on this beach. What is this? Directed by Michael Bay. There we go. Get a little bit of revenge on these starfish over here. And cool guys don't look back at explosions. Philip's very cool. I'm going to skip this box right here. There's no important pickups as we go in here. And as we go into this room, we're introduced to another enemy type called wasps. I'm going to try to take out the wasps first. They have very low HP but very high movement speed, so I want to try to take it out before it takes off. Otherwise, the hornet will go at me. There's a variant later called wasps. And here we get our first major platforming skip. The other one was pretty obvious to get if you're a casual player. This one's a little tricky. So with precise double jump timing, we could go bop, bop. I missed it a little bit. We'll go ahead and do this again because it's still faster. One more time. There we go. If we do not do that double jump, you have to go all the way over to the left there, crouch under another platform, jump over a couple more steps. It's slower. Even doing that 3 times is faster than trying to go through that left side over there. And again, very tight timing on that jump. If I don't do that exactly right, I will miss getting up on that platform. I just won't get enough height, as you saw. These enemies right here, the ropers, are weak to ice magic, and we get our next guaranteed MP increase scroll drop. And as you saw right there, since I had a magic power, immediately pushed me back up to max MP. If for some reason I took a little longer to get up on that platform and I lost the max MP, there are some backup potions right here I could have grabbed. But thankfully we don't need the backup potions, so we're moving on through. We're now in a forest area, and you know, more angry Cerberuses, weak to ice magic, both of them are, so we're going to keep the ice magic on, get another max MP upgrade, and as you'll notice, as we proceed to the generations, each generation gets a little bit stronger than the last. We started with a little bit more HP and a little more MP than our father did, and we are just cruising on the MP route. We already have 60 max MP. I think we end out this chapter with about 70 something. Magic is super important, so that's why we generally get high MP counts right here. We're going to blow up these crabs, as you do when you go crab fishing, right, chat? I grew up in a fishing town. I know what I'm talking about. And we're going to grab our second health magic pickup. After you get health 2 and move on to health 3, health 2 and 3 actually give you the ability to defeat undead enemies. What you'll do is you'll emit a shockwave from yourself as you heal yourself, and that'll damage undead enemies that couldn't otherwise be defeated through any other means. Moving on to the rainforest proper here. Vibing in the music for a second here, chat. Here's this very scary mantis. Not only does it fly from off screen, but you'll notice he's taking way less damage than his other counterparts here. And right there you saw Philip's contribution to the martial art of the bloodline. Every time I do a dash slash from now on, I will now do a backhanded swing. And while it looks very cool, I won't lie, it has a bit of a downside. It's one of the only upgrades I'm not really a fan of when it comes to the upgrades of the martial arts. And that is that while it gives you a wider hitbox on that side that you hold the blade on, unfortunately it decreases the hitbox size directly in front of your character. So there will be a couple times where I definitely want to use a dash slash to stun enemies, and sometimes I will whiff. Just a fact of the martial art. Nothing I can do about it. Speaking of nothing I can do about it, I can't not blow up these lizard men. It's just optimal. I'm sorry. Hey, the game was nice to me. There's another magic power. That's not a guaranteed drop, like I said. A lot of those drops are RNG, so every time I see a magic power, I am very thankful for it. We're going to say goodbye, Mr. Mushroom. I don't want to be spored right here. In the old strats, what I would do right here is I would pop stealth magic to get over this acid pool, but with very precise timing on my double jumps, we can just get through there, which is way faster than waiting on the cast for stealth. In and out before you know it, and it's way faster than running around and doing what the game wants me to do. Typically, doing things your way instead of the way that the game wants you to do is faster. Right, chat? Again, more lizard men. This time they threw an extra one at me, so now there's a group of 3. I'm going to see if I can, again, strategically manipulate these mines to explode multiples of them. Anytime I can get 2 or 3 hits in, as opposed to just the 1, is way more optimal. Going to go ahead and switch to Thunder Magic for this next encounter over here. These sandfish are very intimidating, Chad. I'm going to let you know the secret to get past them. It's just hold right. You just hold right. Just keep holding right. Yep, the sandfish can't get you. And here we have our first introduction to centaurs. These enemies are kind of a menace. They have really active iframe boxes every time they move or do things. Typically getting them with the thunder spell right there is ideal because it has a lingering hitbox. And if you get point blank with it, it'll immediately trigger an explosion and have that lingering hitbox. If I were not to be next to an enemy when I cast thunder like that, it'll slowly send an orb up into the sky, and it'll kind of dangle there. And Red, I got a shop!
Oh no, not the dreaded shop. Well, while you're dealing with that, I do want to remind people we have other prizes aside from the ones ending at the end of this run. We, of course, have our grand prizes. We have the Buster Sword that's available for the entire event, and that has a $250 cumulative donation, which means that it can be multiple donations over the course of the event. You don't have to do it all at once. We also have, for the first half of the event, we've got a custom Game Boy Advance SP that's got the lovely mascot for Limit Break on it. Looks really good. That's going till the end of Live a Leave, which is the end of the first half of the event. That's a 75 cumulative donation, so get in for those, as well as the other prizes I told you about that are ending at the end of this run.
Perfect, thank you very much. Now, a neat little feature of the shop here is sometimes we'll have forced dialogue, and what you'll notice through the generations, depending on your lineage, each character will talk to the shopkeeper differently, even down to their yes-no choices. If you saw me hit nah, old timer right there. That's Philip's way of talking. He somehow picked up a British/Australian accent to speak to NPCs. Meanwhile, right here, we see why I switched to Mind Magic before ending the stage right here. I can't open the menu right now. I could sit here and mash triangle. I cannot get the menu open. So sometimes we will pre-switch magic for situations like that, just so we can get through these encounters quickly. Unfortunately, the Rhinoids did not play nicely, didn't group up for me, but it is what it is. It's still infinitely faster. And as we go through the Shaman Village here, we'll see a couple different methods introduced for progressing through rooms. Right here we have Armored Orcs. These fellas do not have any iframes to speak of. None. You can beat them up however you want. They will not have any sort of iframes. I just knocked him down with a running slash, and he had no iframes. A very interesting enemy. Now, the trade-off for that is they hit like trucks. If I ever get hit by those orcs, which is very rare, they'll do like a quarter of my HP in one attack. It's very scary. Speaking of spooky, we have ghosts right here, and that's the crumple attack you never want to see me get hit by. Unfortunately, you have to break that crate and get that chalice to open the door there. Forced upgrade right here. Speaking of upgrades, that's a fire upgrade, and I don't want to have to actually defeat this enemy, so we do a strategic dash slash to get hit by the bacula and get knocked into their hitbox to grab that tome. It was actually discovered by me as one of my contributions to the route here. I was thinking, man, it's so slow to kill these enemies. Can I just get in there and get the magic? And sure enough, where there's a will, there's a way. Going through the room right here, we're introduced to sorcerer enemies. They are weak to ice magic because they cast fire magic. That's just how that works. Forget the fact that they're spellcasters and should be resistant to all forms of magic. No, because you cast fire, you're weak to ice. We'll see enemies later that cast ice magic, and you guessed it, chat, they're weak to fire magic. The game is a very simple elemental weakness system. It's kind of like what you see them do is what they're weak to. Or, you know, if they're coated in metal, they might be weak to lightning. You never know. That's generally how it works. We're switching to Thunder Magic here because we have two Centaurs to fight again. Let's see if they play nice for me today. Are they going to try to shoot me? No, they're both going to rear up, and I'm going to run up to one of them. There we go. And the active hitbox on the Thunder Magic actually destroys the arrows. That was a very nice pattern from those two Centaurs, and we're already done with the Shaman Village. We're going to talk to the Elder here, and he's going to tell us that there is an evil lurking in the deepness of the jungle. Turns out it is another dragon. So whether we want to or not, it seems like our family bloodline and our magic sword compels us to defeat dragons wherever we go. So we're going to go into the heart of the rainforest, and we're going to fight another dragon that is the dreaded enemy of this run, the ultimate time waster, Thunder. But first, we got to get to him. So through the rainforest we go. Now, right here, we're going to have two giant enemy crabs, but it's more optimal right here to kind of run around and do impales to try to clip into them if they're nice and following you. And they are not today, so that's okay. We could go to them. And speaking of going to them, what we can also do is break this crate open and reveal magic power, and we're just going to go ahead and hit the other crab with their true weakness, Thunder. I know, you would think explosions would be a weakness, but no, Thunder's their actual intended weakness. And moving on through with our Thunder 2 upgrade. Right here, we're going to go ahead and switch to Stealth Magic because, again, remember, chat, if it can't see you, it can't hurt you. The only thing that I can be hit by, quote-unquote, while I'm in stealth state are mushrooms. Mushrooms count as a pickup, and you can pick up items while you are stealth. So you'll actually see not only do mushrooms make me slow, eat my HP, but they also break stealth and they're just bad. Mushrooms are not good in this game. I hate to say it, Chad. I love mushrooms personally. They're delicious, but in the context of this game, they're no good. So again, turning invisible to run away from our scary spike problems right here. Oh, there we go. One got me. One always does, unfortunately. Stealth is also going to help us get through our fish problems right here. Grab a pendant. And the game knew that we were going to fight a boss, so it gave us some recovery items right here at the very end. I'm going to go ahead and prep some Mind Magic, and we're going to get ready to fight Thunder. Now, I say this boss is dreaded because for the longest time, this fight took 5+ minutes to defeat. This boss, every time it moves, every time it does something, can give itself active invincibility frames or iframes by shrouding itself in lightning magic. I'm going to go ahead and eat an attack here just to get a mine to trigger underneath an activated hitbox. If I don't do that, Mind Magics will not explode when I push them into his feet, and that is his weakness. I'm going to go ahead and get that Mind set up right there, manage to hit him. This is a very slow attack. Unfortunately, this is a bad pattern. We're going to keep backflipping through it, though. Minding our spacing. The hitbox on that Thunder Shroud is very, very large. There we go. And now the idea here is 1, 2, 3. Try to force this. I have a very small window to get that explosion to hit its legs. If I don't, it will go and start wandering around and go into its attack patterns. And I'm trying not to call for quiet time here, but I am having to focus a little bit here. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to phase skip this boss by doing this. I will have to let it transform just because we tested it. You actually can't force a kill. So this will be my last Mind cast right here. And now I will let it transform into its next phase, where it has even more annoying attacks. There's one of them right here. So these orbs are going to chase me down. They have gigantic hitboxes. And you see he gets tuckered out. Unfortunately, I didn't get the weak point trigger right there. Gonna go ahead and do a safety heal right here. This is a very scary part of the fight where you're supposed to be able to take him out, but unfortunately he just does not like to play nice. And down he goes. And got a last attack in there, the cheekiness of it. But down goes Thunder. Those new strats right there save us 4 minutes minimum. Again, that took us about a minute and some change. It used to be that fight took 5+ minutes. We get our first glance at Vapula, and then we will never fight this boss during this route. This is the only story path where you don't actually fight Vapula. Every other time, you do have to fight him, but thankfully, one of the speed contributions is we just don't have to fight him during this route. We're on to Pele Ruins. This is the last level of this chapter here, and boy, is it a doozy. Not because it's interesting, but because it's a snooze fest. The devs went really hard in here on making it to where you have to go through a large number of rooms to push a button or find a key to unlock your next section of progression. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and go through these rooms the first time and be narrating through it, and then I'll throw it over for some more stuff from our host once I do the backtrack, but right through here. So first off, in this room, we're going to have some more spooky ghosts. They're going to materialize out of nowhere, try to grab me, but we're too fast for them. Just keep running from it. Ghosts can't catch it if you keep running. Right here, we have 3 centaurs. This looks like a very annoying fight. They have bad spacing, but right here, we're another bomb. There you go. Let's see if they gave us any goodies. I need some backup. No MP, unfortunately. It's okay. Thankfully, our sorcerers have a chance to drop some MP right here. We might be a little magic starved, but we do have backups for that in case that does happen. Again, all of the drops from enemies are RNG dependent. Besides our MP upgrades and our strength upgrades. Right here, we're going to make a very long jump. Let's see if we can make it. There we go. So instead of having to push that block all the way back up against the wall and de-triggering that flame trap, we say, hey, why don't we get our cake and eat it too? So we grab the key and jump to that lithograph upgrade. That's another one of our generational upgrades that's going to permanently give me +1 MP all the way through the rest of the run. There we go. Sorcerers are down. No magic today. Extra stingy. This next fight is going to be terrifying, but thankfully I have full HP for it. And then we have a circle of mushrooms. I knew I was getting double clipped. Unfortunate. But it does mean I do get 2 casts from this. So while I'm retracing my steps here, Red, you got anything for the chat?
Actually, yes, I've got a couple of donations for us. First of all, we have a donation of $10 from Patron Saint. It says, gotta go to work, but want to donate for the enthusiasm and wholesomeness in this Dragon Valor run. Good luck, Hebinx. And we've got a $14 donation, anonymous, that says, this game has it all. Double dragons, star power, and crab raves.
Yeah, this game is definitely an anomaly. It's kind of an underrated gem, in my opinion. For a game that has such tight movement, such fun combat, such unique mechanics when it comes to that stuff. This guy is giving me the business. It really is a fun time. And here we get the bread and butter of this run, Fire 3. Now, I am a little low on resources here. Thankfully, HP resources are very easy to come by here. I am going to be very particular about my MP pickups and MP usage for the rest of the run here. So, for instance, there's going to be a room with a sorcerer. Normally, I would switch to ice magic to take him down in one shot. Unfortunately, though, I will have to do a backup strat here where I instead attack them physically because I don't have a lot of MP. This platform is impossible to get on the first rotation. It's positioned just high enough and raises just soon enough to where you can't get on it. A little bit of a troll from the developers there. Then it will not be the last time they do that. They love messing with the players when it comes to platforms. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this MP now. We can also grab it on the way out, but for my own sake, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it here. Right here, we got 2 zombies and a sorcerer, so good old impale backup strats. Do your stuff. Ah, nice. He positioned himself very well to be attacked again. And he dropped magic. Let's go. Thank you, sorcerer, the real MVP of this run here. Definitely low on magic power there. I will also take a strength upgrade just for a backup strat in case I miss my fireballs against the boss later. And right here we have another bit of manipulation that we could do with the blocks. However, moving them is terribly slow, and thankfully with precise double jumping, we could get around these blocks no problem. I will only have to push one of them, and that's only once. So we give this little block here a tiny shove. We're going to go ahead and jump up here. Precise double jump right up to this platform. Break this crate from far away because it does have one of those nasty little mushrooms for us. In a weirdly shaped alcove that's hard to jump out of. We do a nice double jump right here, get up to this platform, and into the upper section, backtracking our way to the exit over here. There is an upgrade down to the south, but it is not needed. I believe it's a chalice, if I remember correctly. It's been so long since I picked it up. But we have plenty of HP. 40 is enough for us. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. Right here, I'm going to see if I can get past this fire jet pattern. One go. Let's go. Right through them. We didn't even have to hide from our problems. We just run from them. And on we go. And now we're going to be making our way, walking fast onto the boss. Through this door, and we did all that just to grab a key so we can open up this door down here. Another backup HP fill right there. Don't need it, thankfully, because I did not get hit. And we're on to the Guardian after some Skelly boys. Here we go. Now, the Guardian doesn't wake up until we get into a unique proximity. I'm going to back up a little bit and see if I could trigger a certain animation. Didn't trigger for me. Going to take the trade here. The explosion on Fire 3 magic is what makes this run what it is. So that Aftershock right there made me kill that boss in 3 hits. In every other run, you have to kill that boss with a minimum of 8 to 10 hits. He has a ton of HP and a ton of resistance. However, Fire 3 magic has a weird attribute to it. Not only does the initial impact cause damage, the Aftershock explosions have active hitboxes that can hit multiple times and do double damage of the initial impact of the fireball. So for the rest of the run here, I'm going to be throwing fireballs at walls. I'm going to be throwing fireballs at invincible enemies just to hit them with that explosion. That is going to be our major exploit for this route, and that is why this is world record route. So a couple cutscenes right here I have to go through. Basically, the princess finds us again and is like, bro, you have 2 magic swords? That's awesome. Do you want to become king? Let's get married and rule the kingdom of Jyrat together while protecting the world. And so we agree. We settle down with the princess of Jyrat, and we become king. Meanwhile, Halfast and Crassel there, Vapula off screen. You never get to fight him. He just gets KO'd in that cutscene. And then we marry the queen, and we have twins, Anna and Mihail. Right here, we're going to do a disc change. I have had a couple issues with disc changing. Just to let a protection team know, it may not read. Just an issue with the way the disc grabs the scene. I do have a backup on a memory card just in case. Let's go ahead and cross our fingers, chat. Will it read? No problems. Let's go. So we're on to the second half of this. This game does have 2 discs. It's just that large. There's so much action packed in here. And we're on to play as Mihail. So we learn of the demon's plot to resurrect the Dragon King And to stop it, we have to find the third magic sword. We left Azos, the gray sword, at home, and we took Kadum, the route's namesake, with us. The blue sword looks like a tuning fork. The shape of the sword is indicative of its strength. It's supposed to be the magic power sword, which is helpful for us because we love magic in this run. So we take our sword, which I think looks rather awesome, and we are going to try to find the third sword soul. As we go through these runes here, I will go ahead and talk about Mikhail's addition to the martial bloodline skills here, which is the rising attack you saw where I shoved the sword up in the air and had a trail of fire behind it, has now been upgraded to be a rising spin upper. So not only does it now have a vertical hitbox that's very generous, it now has a radial hitbox as you go up as well. So while this platform is going, I'll go ahead and show you. So right there, that little spin right there has a very generous hitbox. It does a good amount of damage, and don't worry, chat, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're gonna go ahead and crouch under this fire right here. No problems. We're just gonna duck under it, and away we go. And leap of faith, no worries. Gonna go ahead and go through this room right here and just walk through this door. There's nothing over there to the right. I believe it's like a small pickup. Do not be tempted, chat. I know you want to grab that pickup. There is a big spooky hand that will pop out of that door and grab you. And just like Wall Masters, they will take you back to a certain stage of the dungeon. We don't want that. There's actually a hole right here. We could skip this entire section of platforming. And there we go. No, never worried. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Again, we have a star NBA player coming in at me. This one is in even better armor. Let's go ahead and do Thunder. A little bit of indecision there from me. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Not being generous with his hitboxes there, so I'm going to try to shove him here into this Thunder Magic. Unfortunately, missed the active hit frame right there. Going to block this attack and get him again. And we did all of this just to pick up a key. And just like we didn't want to platform again, we're just going to go ahead and smoothly slide under that door with a dash thrust. And I mentioned the hand. This time I do want to be tempted, chat. I think I want to get grabbed. Do you want to get grabbed? Let's get grabbed. I actually want to get grabbed right here because it skips going through a couple rooms that we just went through here. It does put us in an evil mushroom circle, but it's okay. We can get around it. Way more generous tolerances than the one on that switch earlier. And again, not worried about my magic consumption here because the game generously gives me that 30 MP. And just like that, we're through this door. This room weirdly has platforms on fire. Probably tempted for us to try to get that magic, but I don't want to spend magic to get magic, so we just run by it. We'll raise an eyebrow, but otherwise it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and switch the fire magic here and block this incoming attack and try to get some shockwaves going on here. Unfortunately, not generous. They decided to do their dive kicks. Unfortunate. But, you know, we'll work on getting our physical strength upgrade. That's our first scroll. And up the staircase and through the introduction chapter of Mikhail. The next dungeon does not have a little bit going on for the first part here, Red. So if you have anything for our lovely chat, I'd love to hear it.
Certainly, I can, of course, talk about why we're here, because, of course, we are here to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And in an effort to support their mission statement, I would like to encourage our viewers in chat and our donors to avoid using mental health-related prerogatives when describing situations that are extraordinary. These include terms like crazy, insane, mental, nuts, bonkers, etc. We ask you to be mindful of the language that you use, as many people do not realize these are pejoratives, and instead consider substituting them with words like amazing, ridiculous, wild, or bananas. We appreciate your cooperation with this and hope you can carry this on in your everyday life, not just here at the event.
Perfect, thank you very much. So right there, you saw me take out the Iron Giant there. Just to grab a key. Now I have to leave that room because the key doesn't go to the door of that room. That would make too much sense. Just like these flying flying stingrays, they make perfect sense, right? Stingrays fly and shoot lightning. That key actually went to this door. So we're going to use that key to go through this door to go push a button to open up another door back to where we came from. Don't worry about it. Makes perfect sense. Runes are awesome. And again, a little low on my magic routing here. So instead of taking out the sorcerer with a blizzard or ice magic spell, instead, I am going to try to strategically manipulate it into these zombies. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get them to follow me too quickly. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hey, there we go. Playing nice again. Sorcerers, the real MVPs. Missed the timing on stopping that, but slight input issues on my end. It's a skill issue, chat, I know. Missed the timing on that one as well, but it's okay. Only cost us a couple seconds there. None of the enemies being nice with their MP drops, but it is what it is. We have backup routes just for that. Dodge the evil mushroom down the staircase. It will be there on our return trip as well. And our first introduction to another mechanic, these are zip lines. Whee! There we go. And we go down the zip line, always fun, down. We're going to go ahead and intentionally take some damage right here into the purple acid pool for that MP pickup. Ooh, got a 1-frame jump right there. Not ideal, but it is what it is. There's a backup pickup of magic over here. Speaking of backups, we have a lithograph hiding behind that pole. So that is 4 plus 1 MP maximums we have now that'll carry on into the final chapter of the game. And while we backtrack here, want to go ahead and let chat know, like, we don't have to refight any of the rooms that are locked by enemy counts. So just like this room right here, you'll see me retread through them. You might think, oh no, he's got to fight all these enemies again. Not true. Once you get the kill count down in a room, that condition is cleared and you can run through it freely any other time, thankfully. Got to remember to push the action button or the attack button to open that door there instead of just walking through it. That would be way too convenient. Everybody say hi to the lightning shooting stingrays again. They're not going to get me. They're not going to get me. They didn't get me. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit out of our way here to grab some backup HP. This routing for HP and MP is just a little tight through this next couple of levels with Mihail here, so I am going to go ahead and try to be conservative here to make sure I give you guys the best run. Let's see if we get good pattern here. Good pattern, good pattern. Yeah. That giant Iron Knight can do a secondary follow-up swing after that first one that is almost guaranteed to hit me. Does a ton of damage, and I just healed up, so I would not like to see that. Thank you very much. So everybody, thank the giant Iron Knight for being cooperative. We have these abomination stingrays here again, and no, stop flying. Stop flying. All right. I think we're safe. Are we safe? We're safe. Awesome. Double check my math right here really quick, chat. Okay, good. So up here in this room, we have our first introduction to the Sorceress enemy. Counterpart to the Sorcerer, this one shoots ice magic, but just like the Sorcerer, if you hit them with their weakness, they go down in one shot. If I did not hit that Sorceress with their weakness, I would have to go ahead and do 2 hammer blows, and she would teleport away. A little bit slow here. Thankfully, the devs were nice enough to put a MP30 on the staircase, and on we go, level complete. And we are on to the deepest parts of the ruins here. This dungeon is particularly mean in the sense that it will introduce mechanics to you and then subvert your expectations that were just newly introduced with something that will waste your time. It's an unfortunate design element that the devs decided to go with, and I'll do my best to Sherpa you through them as we go through here. We're going to ignore that first door right there because we need to find a switch to open up a door. So we're going to go through here. And you saw the platform above that door there. That's where I need to get to push that switch. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go all around these enemies here, do a couple exploratives. A little bit of exploration here. This room's introducing you to a mechanic where you have to light a torch to get up this platform. There we go. Now, if we do some clever jumping, we can actually not have to wait on the elevator. There we go. If you hop up into that covey and then hop out precisely with double jumps, you can skip waiting on the elevator altogether. Love to see that movement there. Right here, we're actually going to run up against this pillar. There's a hidden chalice right here. I do want the increased HP bosses in this chapter hit particularly hard. Again, we have fans combined with flaming platforms. So fans will automatically push you towards the wall like you see right here. But again, if we just hide, they can't hurt us. Say it with me now, chat. If fire can't see you, it can't hurt you. So right here, we're going to follow this trail of money to get past these zombies we don't have to fight to get through this door. And again, we're introduced to this zip line. This is very tight timing, so I'm going to be quiet for just a second here. Have to let go of the hold input on the exact moment where I hit that that Val, or if you ride the zip line all the way in, you have to do all of that again, run up to the zip line, press a crank on the wall, slowly return the zip line to position, and then try again. Very mean from the developers there. Again, we have the Harmus Baculas. We're going to run around these guys. There's a full MP pickup right there. I'm going to save that for later, however. And right here in this room, you'll see this lightened section of the floor. Ideally, you're supposed originally you're supposed to go ahead and push that block, but with some very tight double jump timing, we can get up to these platforms without having to touch that block at all, except to maybe stand on it. So we're running up these stairs right here, and you might be wondering why. Like, where is it taking us? It's going to take us to a room with some checkered floors, and you'll notice here there's an off-colored tile. There we go. This one's not checkered, the other one is, but it still had an off-colored tile. We're going to impale through it. That's the only way to get through it, and grab us a key. I walk right there just for safety's sake. If I try to sprint, sometimes I might miss the key and fall off. The perspective's a little wonky on that part particularly. And we're back in the fan room. So again, we hide from our problems, and that's why we saved the full MP pickup for later. Just because I knew we were going to need to use stealth again, and trying to grab that pickup before we use stealth again would be a waste of magic. Thankfully, this time we do not have to ride the zip line, so I'm not even going to bother trying to crank it back up into position. And right there, that showed that even with the tightest of double jump timing, we just can't get to that platform without riding that evil zip line. Making our way back through here. We're going to get to the room of the block and then proceed forward. I am going to take an intentional hit of damage right here, though, because I want the full MP. Oh, unfortunate. Missed the timing. It's okay. We have another chance. There we go. And right on through. Now, instead of going to this upper platform over here, we're going to go to the platform over here on the left. And this is the only door that opens this way. So if you watch carefully, Chad, all the other doors have slid up, but this one, we're just going to push that one open. Weird design element from the devs, but you know what? It's their game. They can make it however they want. Again, Giant Knight, we're going to hit them with a wombo combo of Explosion into Thunder Magic here. They're kind enough to give us an HP pickup. Moving on to a room with, again, another of the NBA All-Stars, the Imperial Knights. Here he goes. Major uptime. Gonna go ahead and try to take these gentlemen down with some impales to save some MP for my routing. Oh, unfortunate, got grabbed by the zombie. They do put you in a knockdown state if you get touched by them. An unfortunate aspect of fighting them. This Imperial soldier showing me just how physical resistant they are. I do have enough MP to spare, though, to get a Thunder off. And our Thunder Magic upgrade drops over here. And with that, here we go. Now, at the end of this dungeon here, we are going to have a very sad cutscene that we're going to skip. Our Knight Retainer Vilhern, who's been with us since childhood, is going to save us from a deadly attack from a demon and unfortunately sacrifice himself for us, spurning us again to the good old Barclay tradition of revenge. But first, shopping. So, Red, take it away.
Once again, I just want to remind people we do have some incentives coming up for future runs. For example, we have an upcoming run for Final Fantasy VII, and you have options to name every character in that run that they have opened up. So Barrett, Cloud, Red 13, if you want to name those characters, you can put in to name them different things. Right now, Red 13 has Good Boy as its only name option, but that's a very good name. So you can keep that one in, or if you have something better, go for it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Now that we're through our unskippable shop, we can go ahead and proceed with Revenge all the way up to Mount Vieira. I believe this is the longest walking segment in the game on the overworld here, really showing off how much time you can save by pressing start every time you traverse the overworld there. Meanwhile, here at Mount Vieira, very tight magic routing through this entire mountain. Optimally, you want to have a good amount of MP going in because a lot of enemies can be defeated very quickly with magic, just like with the rest of the run. However, if you don't have MP coming in here, this little 10 MP pot right here is your only saving grace, and it doesn't get you through a lot of here. So I'm going to walk past the mines for style points. Just did not feel like exploding. One did. Thank you very much, mine. And speaking of mines, we're going to switch to mine magic because we have our good pal Rockchan back. Everybody say hi. Another round of blow-uppies over here. Never scared. And down goes Rockchan. Nice for, down for a nice nappy nap. Over here, we're going to do some lava platforming. I might take a hit here. If I do, not the end of the world. Up, just barely missed. It's okay. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and try to get around this wall with a tight double jump. Let's see if I can make the jump. Nope. Clipped on the invisible wall. That's okay. Ride the platform over. And through we go. Now in through this room, we're going to go ahead and switch the ice magic here. We have a sorcerer available. Run past the orcs real quick, and then we do a 360 spin. Great analog movement right there. Magic potion drop. Going to go ahead and backflip on over to that. Again, the range on the ice magic, very short. No iframes on the orcs. Unfortunately, they were not very aggressive, so they are not in ideal positions, but we can get them with some backup routing right there. More tight platforming through this lava section right here. Gonna go ahead and hit these very small platforms. Try to get them in a particular speed. Missing this. Please no, please no. Oh, just barely getting past those flame traps. Gonna go ahead and grab this backup HP right here as we make our way over to this door that we needed that key for. And on to Little Mushroom Friends, and we are going to switch to Thunder Magic, not for the mushrooms, but for the Iron Demon Knights sitting over there menacingly. Ooh, these mushrooms are being rather mean to me. Unfortunate. There we go. Going to go ahead and get these two and hope the other one wanders into us with the lingering hitbox. Does not, and he's going to wander off. Unfortunate RNG right there. Hello? There we go. Switch the fire magic here. Now, Red, you have exactly until I push this block 8 times to get in something for our chat. So if you got anything for them, please, by all means.
Well, chat's all vibing to the music. And they say to always go shopping before exacting revenge.
Sage advice indeed. And yes, the music in this game is a vibe. I love it immensely. Very heavy on the synthetic organs and guitars and just upbeat in general. There's a couple slow tracks like you heard in the ruins, but otherwise very energetic music, really getting you pumped for revenge. And gonna hit the sorcerers here. Unfortunately, didn't clip either of the lizard men with the after explosions of fire, but thankfully they did go ahead and drop an MP pickup for us here. So going to go ahead and kindly take that, and then for some reason the devs, instead of ending the level there, make us run to the end of this room to end. There's nothing here, but that's the end of that level right there. So on to the Citadel of Varia. Unfortunately, chat, for our Metroid fans, there are no Varia seats here. Your princess is in another castle. But we do have one of my favorite tracks in the entire game. This is just hi-hat heavy, impulsive, just getting you pumped. You're getting ready to exact your revenge. You're on a mission. Let's go.
This is definitely a game I wish I had heard about sooner. This is an absolute
I feel so fortunate that I ran into this growing up. You have no idea. Almost got shot right there. You'll see why I pushed those 3 switches in a second, but first we have to fight these assassin ladies. Our first encounter with them, you'll hear them backflipping off screen here. They always start off backflipping into a wall. We got lucky with a double clip right there on one of the fireballs. Unfortunately, we didn't get the second one, but we defeat them to pick up this gold key just to run to the right side over there. But on the other side of this door, you'll see that where I pushed the switches after I hit the 3rd switch, it spawned in a chalice. So again, another max MP upgrade right there. The game really does not try to hide these at all. So if you're worried about routing your HP up to a comfortable level, don't. Generally, the game will throw those upgrades right in front of you for the pickings. So back to this lever over here. We're going to pull it over to the right this time and raise the other drawbridge and lower the other one. There we go, we're onto the right side. Another shining moment for the analog movement in this game here. Normally we would not be able to hold an optimal angle to get through these fan segments. However, because I'm on analog controls, I can hold a specific angle to get through those rather quickly. It's a little cumbersome to do that on D-pad. And again, better picture of the assassin girls, but second verse, same as the first. Double fireball, down they go. Our last upgrade for the defense magic we'll never use, it makes our sword look like a giant beam saber. I wish I had time to show that off to you, chat. You'll just have to take my word for it here. Giant cheese grater alert. It's going to catch me. Unfortunately, I clipped into the wall corner there. But yes, you know, key part of any dungeon is having a giant spinning death wheel, as you do. No need to grab magic here. Our next boss that we're about to fight behind this door actually is immune to magic. We're going to have to fight them with completely physical attacks. We take the wide angle there to get manipulate that Imperial Knight so we don't have to fight them. Go straight into the door. And here's Grisampsius. He's introduced as Demon in the first text box here. He says his name later, but we skip cutscenes here. We don't have time for him to introduce himself. We got Revenge to extract. He has a very annoying teleport move. Every time he casts, it'll either be fire or ice magic, and then he'll do a lightning vortex after a couple times. He also has the chance that if you are too close to him when he spawns back in, he might teleport away. Nope, I'm out of the vortex. Okay, that actually has a gravitational effect to it to draw me into it, so I can't get hit by it. Unfortunately, I got hit by this attack right here. All right, am I close enough? There we go. Another vortex. This one I did get sucked into, so some clever backflipping gets us through that safely. And here's the teleport train. Alrighty. One more attack should do it for us. Down he goes.
Nothing wrong with backflipping your problems away.
Yeah, you know, it's not only cool, it makes you invincible. It's got everything you need. Backflipping is everything you need. So Grisampsius tells us that his masters are deeper into the cave, and that we'll never defeat them. But you know, he's wrong, but that's okay. Right here, we have a very, very mean thing that the devs put in for platforms. So hopefully I get it the first time. It can be a little tricky to get. So here at this acid pool, I do not want to use stealth. We have to ride this very, very slow platform. But it's a red herring, chat, because right here, this other platform right here will zoom right on up. Thankfully, I was able to double jump right up to it. Very tight timing on that jump. If you don't get it the first time, you have really awkward pacing back and forth on that slow platform to catch that rising platform. So thankfully, I got it on the first try right there. Again, you try to get away from me, but you know, double jumping. Double jumping's awesome. I wish I could double jump. We're going to get past these spooky boys right here just to fight the zombie. The zombie is the only enemy in here we have to defeat to get the drop we want. So the zombie goes down. It's going to spawn a key right here. We're going to run away from the spooky, scary skeletons. And away we go. Using that key to unlock that door here, and here we're going to see another floor tile that we have to impale through. Thankfully, it's the same weird green color as the last one, and it's on checkerboard pattern this time, so even easier to spot. You've seen it once, you've seen it twice now. Past these baculas, I can dash slash underneath that bacula into its hitbox to grab that potion if needed. However, my MP routing is looking very good right now. Everybody say hi to Rockchan. He's back again. We're going to blow him up. Sorry.
Hi, Rockchan.
Aw. Again, it looks like you're going to get hit by that, but he's harmless. I'm telling you guys, he's the perfect pet. Again, blow up. He's content now. He's going to leave us alone. He's perfectly fine. And we get our last stealth magic upgrade there with that Grey Tome. Now stealth magic will last a very, very, very long time. I think it's like 3 seconds worth of stealth after the final upgrade. It's insane how long it lasts. Clever double jump right here will get me around that corner, up, into a switch, and a leap of faith. Never scared. On through a boring hallway to a door. And that's that whole level. Again, the hardest part of that was that first platform section. Very mean, very time-wasty. Otherwise, a pretty innocuous level. Onto the force field. This is a gauntlet level. So, as I walk in through the force field here, gotta bob your head. This is a bop. You'll see that giant gate in the distance there. I have to go all the way to the left and then all the way to the right to open up that gate by defeating all the enemies we come across in our way. I'm gonna go ahead and use a rising slash again. The giant hitbox on that makes it to where I could break those very quickly now. I'm gonna grab that MP up, as magic is gonna be the key to getting through these rooms quickly. We're gonna run over these centaurs, and as they rain up, put magic attack in here, try to manipulate these enemies to wandering into the hitbox. Unfortunate. Gonna go ahead and get another attack off on the armor. And down he goes. And you see the full power of Thunder 3 right there. It spawns 4 orbs that linger and just do massive amounts of damage. This level is very generous with its HP and MP pickups through those crates, so you might see me stopping to get those. That's just to keep me on route. Meanwhile, again, back to good old trusty Fireball. Remember, chat, just Fireball. Just Fireball. Just Fireball. Past the roly-polies over here. We have a giant knight. He's going to try to be cheeky and swing at us, but we're going to Fireball him right in the face. And just for good measure, hit him with the good old Thunder. And on we go. Now we have to make our way back over, so Red, while I'm making the backtrack over here, if you got anything for the chat, now would be a great time.
Yeah, we want to give shout-outs to the people involved with our foreign language restreams. Our French restream can be found at twitch.tv/LesFrenchRestream, and our Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. Those restreams can help you better enjoy the marathon. Please go check those out and send them some love as well.
Awesome. Yeah, shout-outs to our restream community. Those guys do amazing work, really getting the stream out there to folks who do not speak English natively. I'm sure they're having a heck of a time translating the garbage coming out of my mouth as I self-commentate here. So props to y'all again. Oop, accidentally got a little bit too close to the fire right there. Fire indeed hot, but thankfully we have a HP pickup right there that we can recover with. Sorceress bad, Fireball. Sorceress bad, Fireball. There we go, problem solved. And that one, both of them were generous enough to drop full MP restores. How nice. So no need to break these crates right here. We're at full HP and full MP. Got to route our way around the evil mushrooms and torches over here. And I'm going to do a little something out of the ordinary here. I'm not going to cast Fireball at these wasps just because I want to kill them with a physical attack to try to get a gem drop manipulated. There it is right there. So now my physical strength is increased. This will help me in a boss fight later with some platforms that I have to destroy while they're on top of them. I need enough strength to decrease the HP of the platforms. So that's an intentional manipulation of a drop right there to make sure that we have enough strength to break those as needed. And I'm just going to vibe here a little bit, chat. This is, again, a great track. listen to those chimes in the background, man. I'm a percussionist. I played percussion growing up all through middle and high school. So I played pit percussion in particular. So I'm a nerd for timpani, for chimes, for triangles, anything that you can find in an orchestral pit, in the percussion pit. I played it and I love it. Meanwhile, we got Rhinoids here. But again, just Fireball solves our problems. Just like that. This Crystal Knight, however, will not be abated by Fireball. He's immune to magic attacks, so instead we're going to have to fight him the good old-fashioned way. Another reason why we pick up one of those strength gems. Unfortunately, you see the downside to that backslash that we inherited from our father Philip here. Thankfully, we managed to get him manipulated into a corner here. However, he's going to teleport. Sometimes when he activates a block frame, he will do this teleport attack. It's random whether or not they do it, but thankfully we have enough recovery. Again, holding neutral there will have us block their surprise attack. Pro tip, don't jump out in front of somebody to surprise attack them if they're already facing where you were. Try to pop up behind them. Usually works better. On to the Demon's Lair. So we're on to a boss gauntlet here. We're going to go through a couple rooms that are a little annoying. This second room we're going to go into in particular is going to have another Crystal Knight, but this room is also going to have ghouls. You cannot defeat ghouls unless you cast healing magic. So the game devs basically force you to spend MP here. Thankfully, once I defeat the Crystal Knight, they will have an MP drop to restore my mana points. So they're a little cheeky, but it's for a teaching reason, so I understand it. So that little aura right there is how we defeat these ghouls. But as you saw, the MP cost is insane. We unfortunately triggered a second ghoul here. But thankfully, again, we're going to get an MP 30 drop from this Crystal Knight once it goes down. Not being very kind to us today, but that's okay. Sometimes you can get them, sometimes you can't. Some of this run is dependent on RNG and just the way the enemies behave. So being flexible and being able to adapt to that is kind of key for the run. Also having a hard time timing my dash slash in this room. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go for a single this time. Missed it, unfortunately. We're going to go through another single. There we go. And down he goes. And just like I promised, there is an MP pickup right here. Restoring our magic points. Down the very shallow staircase we go down here, a slight spiral. Again, another shining moment for the analog stick. Getting the angle on this weird curved staircase is a little awkward with D-pad. This room, we don't even have to fight anything. We just hold up and left, accidentally get clipped right here, that's okay. But again, magic pickups and HP pickups get us through that room. We don't have to fight anything. Switch to our fire magic here because we're on to our first boss of this level, Crassel. A childlike demon that taunts us and unfortunately has a ton of RNG and iframes attached to them. So they sit up there on that platform. You cannot hit them while they're up on that platform. I could try to jump up and smack them. Unfortunately, it just will not do me any good. They're invincible the whole time. They're up there blinking the whole time. The idea here is to fish them out onto a platform and then break the platform while they're standing on it, have them fall to the ground, removing their iframes. And as you saw right there, I intentionally cast Fireball at the wall behind them so I can hit them with the explosion of Fire 3 rather than the actual Fire 3 spell itself. Again, that does subsequently more damage than I would if I were to hit them with a head-on Fireball. That was a little sketch. I don't know if I managed to hit them with the explosion or the Fireball itself just because I got hit right there. Now, you might be asking, why don't I just take down the Skelly Boys? And that's because, unfortunately, if you knock down any of the skeletons, Crassel now has a chance to resurrect them, having a whole other move cycle tied behind it, taking up more time that they could be spent jumping onto this platform for me over here. And again, showing off the incredibly active window of that after explosion on Fire 3, really showcasing how good it is. Respawning platforms right here. Respawning Skelly Boys, and now it's a 1 in 4 chance. Unfortunately, breaking that platform not in time. Hitting a Skelly Boy in the meantime. Wasting an animation. They can also chuck fireballs. There's a second jump, third jump. There we go. All right, one more fireball will do it. It's a 50-50 now, chat, unless they decide to respawn the other two platforms. So I'm going to position myself right here. try to avoid the Skelly Boy. Respawn all of our platforms. We're now at a 1 in 4 chance. Looks like I guessed right, though. Unfortunately, every time they respawn a platform, they gain more HP. But again, glitching out the death animation with Growl with the explosion there, finishing up that fight. Writhing on the floor in pain, we think we've won this fight, so we're just going to leave, leaving the demon to their own devices. That's not going to come back to bite us in the butt at all. Meanwhile, we're going to make our way in. We have Halphus to fight. Going to exact our revenge for Vilhern, who they slew earlier. And that first level over there to the top right is Red Herring. I believe it spawns an item, but we're only concerned with this lever right here in the top left corner. Going to go ahead and turn it, ignore the sorceresses, and run on to proceed through the level. Going to go ahead and switch to Thunder Magic right here. Not only is it going to help us with this next encounter, it's also going to be used on the boss exclusively when we fight Halphus. His weakness is Thunder Magic. So I'm running in the middle of the room here. Spawn the orbs. The Knights are kind of playing nice here while they're beating me up. There we go. We triggered the explosion there, and thankfully they dropped an HP pickup. So very kind of them. Going to take that for safety reasons. And in this room, we're going to have the spinning wheels of death again. And on top of one of them is going to be perched that defensive upgrade talisman. I'm going to see if I can get that. Just barely got clipped right there. It's okay, though. We're going to keep moving on. And we're on to the Halphus fight. Now, Halphus is channeling his best Rubicante here, in which at the beginning of the fight, he's going to spawn a max HP and a max MP refill for me to take before I fight him as honorably as possible. But unlike Rubicante, we're just going to run up and blast him with magic, being disrespectful as we can. And really showing off the lingering hitbox effects with Thunder Magic here. Gonna miss this one as well. There we go. Gonna magic cancel out of this because there's a better spot to cast magic, and it's gonna be right underneath of him. When he flies up in the corner here, what we want to do is try to cast Thunder right here. I am gonna take some damage. But when he dive kicks down, he's gonna clip into the Thunder Orbs and then linger long enough to be clipped again. Again, cast cancel, trying to be predictive here. Unfortunately, didn't catch the reaction properly. So again, we're going to try to blast him in the face. And then stick around their orbs because of that dash attack right there. Going to grab some safety HP and then cancel out the animation of the Thunders despawning them, running over here, and then respawning our Thunder Magic for the last time. Hopefully he's going to dive kick right into those orbs, just as we predicted, breaking his death animation, and that's Halphus. Gonna go ahead and prep Fire Magic for the next boss fight immediately following this. So as Halphus writhes on the ground in pain, we deny him a warrior's defeat and instead ignore him to go fight the dragon Talon. Now, normally this was another fight that took 5+ minutes just because of how little damage Talon takes. However, that was before we discovered the magic that is Fire 3 and Aftershocks. So you're going to see me just chuck fireballs here. Just fire. There we go. Transformation, stage 2 here. Unfortunately, mistiming that. We're going to go ahead for a backup right here. Hit the weak spot, which is its head. Yes, a head grew out of its head. You did not see that, chat. Not aliens inspired at all. No, not here. No copyright infringement, I'll tell you what. And down goes Talon. Again, a fight made incredibly short due to the manipulation of the magic system here in this game. And that is the end of this chapter. So Mihail, thinking that he defeated Krassel's true form, throws down his sword into the ground in victory, only to find it snatched away from him in the final moments by the demon being tricked. And now we play as the twin sister, Anna, and she will be our final character of the game. So this is the last chapter. And unfortunately, because all of the other magic swords have been stolen by the demon Krassel, the Dark King is on the rise. The resurrection is imminent, and we are on our way to not only find our missing twin brother, but to find our missing sword and stop the destruction of the world. This chapter highlights basically how carried our protagonists have been through this entire game. Without a magic sword, not only is our defense lower, our offense is lower, and our magic power is lower. We are handicapped on all fronts because of the lack of our magic sword. So we're running through here with just a standard, I believe it's a saber or a rapier. Chat, correct me on what type of sword this is, but we're going to dash through. Could just be a two-handed, very thin two-handed sword as well with a cross guard. But we're going to run through that little crack right there, dash through it, and we're going to find two just jobber enemies that shouldn't be any problem if we had a magic sword. But unfortunately, since we don't, these guys are going to put up a really tough fight. They're going to have a ton of HP. We're going to do very little damage to them. I'm going to try to impale them. And right here, you're seeing the last martial upgrade of the Barclay family with Anna. Not only does she have Mihail's rising spinning slash, she has a spin now on Impale. That spin has active hitboxes the entire time you're spinning around in the air. It also benefits from pushing you away from enemies who have iframes, so I don't get hit by that Executioner. Sometimes that Executioner likes to go on his villain arc and be an absolute menace. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad for me this time. Gonna run over here. Jump over this spike, jump over this spike, jump over this spike. There we go. Those spikes don't lower or raise, they're just in static positions. And over here to another really annoying fight. Now, zombies normally haven't been a problem, but these guys, extra tough. And we're introduced to a winged demon here, getting advantage of basically our low damage causes us sometimes to get multi-hits. It's advantage and disadvantage. Managed to take out that zombie before he could transform. Did not double jump right there, my mistake. And again, trying to group up enemies as much as possible to take them down. A lot of repeating over and over again the same attack just for safety reasons, though. We're going to go ahead and have this guy catch a flight. Unfortunately, that's what can happen when that tries to go off. But that 3-hit combo right there, or 4-hit combo, if I could get it proper next time, does a lot more damage. But again, spamming Impale safer. Just for that reason right there, we are in the danger zone, so I am going to go ahead and pop a heal. And you'll see right here, just outside of the shockwave. Not being nice to me tonight, but that's okay. And down goes the winged demon. Gonna go ahead and switch the fire for this next fight up here. Again, I could have waited for that heal spell, but I wasn't confident I wasn't gonna get outmaneuvered by that winged demon. You can die on that fight very easily. And if you die at any point in this game, thankfully I've been pretty deathless. If you die at any point, you start at the very beginning of the level. Very punishing to die in a speed run in this game. So with this Centaur, we're going to bully with Fireball instead of Thunder. It just has a way more consistent setup than Thunder would. And if this town looked familiar, it's because it is. We are back in the kingdom of Raxus. Unfortunately, it's fallen due to the rise of demon activity. And so we see a cutaway there to Kryle getting ready to summon the Dragon King back from the underworld. And we're on to the Raxus Castle ruins. Back where it all began with Clovis. And you'll see the castle here is a little worse for wear. Since the kingdom has fallen, it just has fallen in disrepair. Pillars are broken, walls are crumbling, floors are in disrepair. But thankfully someone was kind enough to leave behind a full magic power in that crate there, so we're going to pick that up. Dodge these executioners and just bully this Rhinoid as best we can. We don't want him to get a single action off. Unfortunately, not doing a lot of damage to him, again, because of our lackluster magic and lacking a magic sword. But we bullied that Rhinoid there specifically so we can get that key to drop so we can open this door. And again, back to the all-star dream team of the Imperial Knights. They're going to come at me and give me some major hang time. There we go, but we're going to throw up a Thunder Orb. And now I'm going to try to get them lured into the after explosions. There we go, very nice. See if we can do it to the Imperial Knight here as well. Pick up the scroll before we run on max MP. Lure him over for some free damage so we don't have to spend any magic power. Block that attack. And again, try to lure him out for this last bait over here. Taking his time, waddling over. It's okay, though. Down for the count he goes. Drummer going in hard on this track. trying to get those drum fills in.
They didn't have to go so hard, but they definitely did.
That seems to be a trend with games I play, whether it's Mystic Quest or this game. It's a game that the music does not deserve to go as hard as it does, but they do, and I love it for them. Again, more zombies. These are a little nicer than the ones that we fought with the winged demons before. They have more generous timings with not as active iframes. I think it's because the devs threw in those 5 enemies and was like, that's a bit much. Let's tone down the zombies a little bit. And it works out. We get through here. And through this door, we're going to find our twin brother, Mihail. Unfortunately, he has been mortally wounded by the demon Krassel. So we opt to pursue and avenge our brother because if you're not a Barclay, you're not exacting revenge. And so we now aim to stop the Demon King's resurrection and exact revenge for our brother who collapses from his wounds. Onto the Underworld Passage. This is the scariest level in the game. I know we're not at the end, but this is the scariest. Typically, you know, your threats are put at the end of the game, but right here in the final chapter, you have very low offense, very low defense, very low HP. Enemies in here hit like freight trains, and you have very little resources to combat the problems that face you. So I have to be a little conservative with my use of Fireball and other spells in here. I need to make sure I preserve enough magic and HP to get through some of the fights. And then at the final door, when we get there, I am going to fight a regular enemy that is absolutely terrifying. Can literally kill me in 2 hits if I'm not safe. So I will have a little bit of quiet time for that section right there. But on the build up here, we're just going to be moving through and defeating enemies, opening doors, getting pickups. Making sure I manage my HP and mana appropriately. Here we get double winged demons here. Normally you would try to heal through them, but right here, Thunder and the lingering hitboxes will do us just fine. Gonna try to wiggle around a little bit. There we go. Baited out that dive attack. Unfortunately, not close enough for the follow-up to be killed by the lingering hitbox of Thunder Magic, so instead, we defeat him physically, and we move on through the door. Here we're going to have an acid pit. I don't want to use any mana, so we're going to try to go ahead and get through here. Sorry, next room. I got my rooms mixed up. This one we just need to light a candle. Again, why mana conservation is key. Again, you see the generous hitbox on that fireball, just absolutely gigantic. Lighting that candle from halfway across the room. Room full of bats here. We're going to go ahead and cast Thunder once the Winged Demon descends. And hopefully the bats run into the Thunder Orbs here. There we go. Getting another max MP pickup. There we go. Our 3rd hit. And we're using that Rising Slash here again to get quick, heavy damage off on these enemies. And our last Mind Magic upgrade for the run. Mind Magic hasn't been upgraded this whole time, but honestly, it doesn't need to be upgraded. Every time you level up Mind Magic, you just gain the ability to have 1 more persistent mine out actively at a time. At level 1, you get 1. At level 2, you get 2 mines at a time. We only ever run mines into enemies, so it really doesn't help us out too much. The only thing it really does is also increase the travel speed of mines once you lay them. Unfortunately, it does not increase the cast time, so it has that ridiculously long wind up every time you try to lay a mine. So you'll see me use it 1 or 2 more times for enemies with weakness, especially coming up here near the end. But otherwise, I'm not going to be using Mind Magic. Got to jump there. It looks like I would have gotten away from that hitbox scot-free on that ice attack, but if I did not jump, I would have gotten clipped in the back. And if you get hit by ice magic, you freeze in place. It's a very long down animation. You fly across the room after getting frozen. Very extra. So we try not to get hit by it at all. I'm going to grab this lithograph right here for some backup max MP. And on top of that trap, I'm going to try to grab this max MP. If I get hit, I will heal myself to full just because of how scary this encounter is. Thankfully, it didn't get hit. And here comes the bad encounter, chat. This is a stone enemy, very similar to Rockchan, but not nearly as friendly. The reason is it has insane attacks that this dive right here can kill you in 2 hits. And it has another attack, which is a slam, that has an insanely large hitbox. It can hit you from like a mile away. Basically, think of it being grabbed by Zangief, and you know he was at least 2 people's lengths away, but you got spinning pile drived anyways. That's what it's like getting hit by this monster. And that slam attack right there, that's the one I'm trying to avoid. So I am taking this safe. Dying here would mean losing at least 5 to 6 minutes, having to go through the entire dungeon again, trying to bait that out. Unfortunately, getting hit, showing just how much damage that does. Going to go ahead and safety heal. Getting one more hit here could kill me. So I am going to go ahead and safety heal, bait out another dive, backflip through it with style, defeating the scariest enemy in the game. Thank you very much. And we are through it. Now it's fun time. We went through our trials. We went through our difficult levels. We learned that there is a 4th magic sword, and we also learned through an exposition dump that I will skip through that the magic swords that we've been carrying and using this time are actually angels. They have turned themselves into swords for Valors to wield to fight off dragons. Yes, you heard me right. We've been fighting dragons with angels turned into swords this whole time. Unfortunately, all 3 other swords are captured, so the last vanguard here, Ignis, turns himself into the most powerful magic sword in existence for us to take on the Demon King Dahaka in a final showdown. And man, if these 2 levels don't give you power fantasy, I don't know what will. Every enemy here dies super fast. Your magic is back to at full tilt, just KOing enemies left and right. These cave slugs are a menace, regardless of how powerful you are. But you saw how little damage you take there. You literally take 1 damage there. Your defense is back up to where it should be. Your attack power is back up to where it should be. Your magic's on full power. You are just having a great time. And in these next 2 levels, they're going to be shoving HP upgrades at me like crazy. My HP bar is literally going to double here just to get me prepped for the final fight, because they really want you to take a victory lap before taking on the final dungeon here. So getting past these baculas and spikes with no problems. Going to wiggle a little bit. Unfortunately, didn't wiggle enough to get past the spikes timing.
So basically, you were the Dragon Valor all along.
Correct. And to show off how a Dragon Valerie I can be now, we're going to shoot laser beams with healing magic. So to all my Sage mains out there in Final Fantasy XIV, these attacks are for you. We just go, pew, and down they go. Moving back to a mandatory Cyclops right here. The only Cyclops we see, I believe it shares the same attack and like animations as another enemy. I cannot remember for the life of me which one it is, but goes down with a couple mind magic right here. Will drop a chalice. I need to pick up that chalice before I can open the door. It is mandatory. Some spikes are going to spawn right here. We're going to very lingering hitbox. Gonna go ahead and back up, cast some stealth magic right here. Didn't want to spend any more MP, but I do need to get these pickups for some routing. And just seeing how much longer Stealth 3 lasts here, just going to town. And now we have Red Knights. These are very mean, but again, just like Purple Giant Knights, we're just going to blow them up, run up to them, cast some Thunder Magic, and then while they're wandering around, grab their MP pickup while they get blown up by the Aftershocks. Up to 74 MP there. A ton of magic should be well more than enough for the final encounter. On to the City of Demons here. Yes, you saw that there was a shop down here. I wasn't lying. There are shops in the underworld. Unfortunately, after this one, we are going to have a mandatory shop after the City of Demons, so be ready. Until then, though, we're going to the City of Demons, and we're not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with us. We are at full power, and we mean business. So we're going to run up here and, again, laser beam demons to death because they are weak to healing magic. Down they go, one shot. Very cathartic for those who might have struggled with the winged demons in the previous level. Really showing them who's boss. Again, this level, the next level, and the prior level are all power fantasies to get you on the road to the final boss. There's really no challenge to them. They're just here to show how much more powerful you are after getting this sword. running past a couple boxes here. This room is a red herring. You would think that you would need to fight these skeletons and these demons and get through all of them. Nope, you just need to run over here and grab a lever, but also a key. So there's going to be a key over here in this crate. We need to make sure we grab that on our way out. Strategically dodging all those fights. I don't feel like fighting any of them. Fighting them is slow. And my MP looks a little low here, chat. No worries. At the door up here, we're going to have a full MP restore. So no need to be concerned about my magic restoration.
So I do have a very special donation to read.
All right.
I have a $10 donation from Rockchan that says, "Hi, Hebinx."
Hi, Rockchan. Alrighty, so on through these fire traps. Here we're going to manipulate with a double slash. It's faster than hammer blowing through these barricades because there's 3 of them. And we're just going to go ahead and dash cancel out of those 3 attacks right there. Getting through. And up here, we're being introduced to even more new things. So you see this little slime here. He's like, why is there slime here hanging out with 2 crystal knights? And what's going on? Oh, there's a bomb. Blink and you miss it, they're gone. And even more new elements introduced in this next room up here. We're going to see enemies we haven't even seen before. We're 3 levels literally from the end of the game, and the game is throwing new things at us all the time, constantly keeping us on our toes here. So right here, we're going to blast the paladins with thunder, quickly switch to the fire magic. There's a mystic knight right over here. Get her with the fireball. And out we go. Out of the city of demons. Unskippable shop, red.
All right, well, while you're shopping, I want to show some love for our community artists. We have LLK, who designed the RPG Limit Break logo, and Mega Wheezy and It's Kaza, my friend, who are responsible for designing several of the emotes, which you can access by subscribing to RPG Limit Break's Twitch channel. All the revenue from the subscriptions, bits, and the ads we run contribute to funding our marathons, and your support in this is critical to helping us put on these wonderful events year after year.
Got a little bit more time. There's going to be some more dialogue.
Alrighty, well then we can also shout out the people that do our foreign language restreams. We have the French restream at Le French Restream and our Japanese restream at Japanese_restream. And if those can help you out, please go and send them some love as well. Of course, we have another artist to shout out, which deserves special thanks, and that's the one that worked on our overlays, Oro, who can be found on Twitter at OroLen.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This is the very end and our very last unskippable shop. We're through them, chat. We're done. No more shopping. Only revenge. We're going to run through the demonic forest here, and then we're on to the final level. The demonic forest here has what I refer to lovingly as the pit of shame. Hopefully we don't get to show it off, but you could get unfortunate platforming. No, never mind. We're not doing the pit of shame. I'm getting my levels mixed up. No, we are. We are. Yes. I'm right. I'm wrong. So we have some very tight platforming as we go through here. If we fall down any of these platforms, we go into what I call the pit of shame, where we have to backtrack 3 screens to the left to get back up through that tree trunk with a hole in it, just to try that platforming all over again. Now we have our introduction to dragonettes here, and we have a centaur, but you know what we do to the centaurs? We bully them with fire magic. Just fireball. And move on through here. Couple zombies, we're going to run right past them. Everybody say hi to the pit from Mortal Kombat 2.
Hi, Pit.
Aww. And on to a switch that we had to push to run through a room with some cool pyrotechnics, but they're pretty innocuous. On to some mana pickup right here. The game really is trying to force feed you to make you feel as powerful as possible. Again, like I said, our HP is now doubled from what it was from where we started. And you have to go out of your way. And hey, Rockchan brought some friends. This is a little hairy, not gonna lie. I have been talking bad about Rockchan the whole time, and he brought friends just to give me the business. Unfortunately, still weak to explosions all the time. So we're just gonna blow up Rockchan and his new friends and move on. Also, Rockchan has a tendency to drop HP drops just for friendliness because he loves the blow-uppies.
That's just the ones that we saw before. They all just wanted to say hi one more time.
All right, they needed more blow-uppies. Hey, say hi to the Axe Demons. You're never going to see them again. They're just going to look around weirdly. You see those enemies once in this run, you never see them again. More assassins, so you know what we do, chat. Say it with me now. Just fireball. And then that's the demonic forest. Easy peasy. Now on to the Dungeon of Eternity. Or Dungeons of Eternity. This is actually a 2-part level. It's so large that it has 2 distinct loading zones. But this is the final run here. So chat, if there's any incentives that are hinging on me completing this run, if there's any donations you want to get in before the start of the next one, you have until I complete this level in about 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to run to the right over here. Those wisps I'm never going to fight, so unfortunately you will have to deal with that chiming. Run past the stingrays that don't make any sense. And we're going to get into another double demon room right here. We know what to do here. Get ready for the laser beams. And down they go. Very chill groove coming into the Dungeons of Eternity. Really just grooving here. We're going to go up into this first door. We're not going to touch that lever quite yet, and we're going to have some very mean platforms. These platforms will fall if you stay on them for too long. They'll fall forward. So I have to be very tight with my timing and very precise with my jumping here. Sometimes they immediately fall. Sometimes they give you a nice little wiggle. It's random which one they do, so I always err on the side of caution and jump immediately, which can force a 1-frame jump, unfortunately, but I'd rather get a 1-frame jump than have the pillars fall, miss my jump, and then have to reload the room. You might see me do that here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. We're through it. Awesome. No need to reload the room here. If those pillars fall and I don't make it across, I have to walk out, walk back in. We meet our first use and our last use of a unique mechanic here called a Thunder Switch. So I have to use a Thunder spell to trigger the switch with that chime. I have to do this 4 times in this room. So that's 1. I love how you can hear the explosions off screen. There's our magic power. Refills our MP back up to full. You have to be very mindful of your MP consumption in this dungeon. If you're not mindful of it, it will run out and you won't be able to hit the switches and you'll be soft locked. It's not very nice. Now onto the lever. We're going to pull it here. We're going to go onto the south section of this room, onto our next Thunder Switch. Onto some weird conveyor belts with bats. I always get hit by this bat, and it's never nice. I just take my lumps and I move on. Oop, almost missed my timing on that jump there, but we managed to recover, no problem. This room's going to have a couple enemies I have to defeat to move on. I believe they're sorceresses, though, so you know what to do, chat. Fireball! Fireball! And we're going to hit our last upgrade of Ice Magic. You know, the final dungeon still getting upgrades. Ice Magic has no use beyond this point, though. So we'll not see what Ice 2 looks like. On to our next Thunder Switch here. I'm going to hit it. Sorry for the pulsing noise the wisps make. Unfortunately, I can't control that. You're going to hear that every time I'm in this room. I'm not going to stop and fight them because that's slow. We're going to wait for that explosion to finish and hit the second Thunder Switch right here.
No ice, only fireball.
Correct, only fireball. And now we get baited by this platform. You saw me clip right into it. The devs just really don't want you to get it the first try. These are actual convicts. When you fight them, their name is Convict on their health bar down there. So when you get banished, when you do crimes in this world, you don't go to jail, you go straight to the underworld. Don't do crimes, kids. Meanwhile, there's a block down here they want me to push, but double jumping's way cooler. So I'm just going to double jump around these bends and proceed to these rooms. This first room's going to have a giant death wheel in it. We're going to run around it, give it a generous berth. Into a room with 3 mushrooms and a switch. We're going to jump onto the switch, not eat any of the mushrooms, and leave. To open up another door where we need to fight enemies to get a key. Very convoluted. Just barely missing that gigantic hitbox on that death wheel. And again, no block pushing, instead, double jumping. That's how you solve your problems, chat. Don't push blocks. Link could learn a lot here. If he just double jumped in his dungeons, he would get through them no problem. Sorceresses go down in one fireball. We're saving MP here. Grabbing that key, moving on. And back to more double jumping. Back through here, through the upper door that we left through, there's going to be a locked door at the end of where the rising platform room was with the convicts that we needed that key for. All that just to open up the switch right here. And the devs were nice enough here to give you an MP pickup of 10, just in case you ran out of MP, didn't have enough to hit this last switch. They give it to you here. With all 4 switches activated, we can go through this door. And then the devs are right back to their cheekiness again. That is the door to the final boss. Unfortunately, we can't get through it. We need a key. So unfortunately, we have to raise the lever here, go through, and go to a completely second half of this dungeon before we run to the final boss. Now, technically, this level loads into another level, and then when we come back here, it's an entirely different level with different enemies and different layout. So I'm sure that door is not active. I've tried to clip through it, but I have a $100 bounty out on that door. If you can get through that door somehow and skip all of this, $100 all yours. Crystal Knight's not being nice to me tonight. That's okay. Not getting my timing on my dash slash. It's okay though. This is I believe the last time we have to do this with a Crystal Knight. So say goodbye to Mr. Aww. We're not gonna hear from him again, I believe. Here we have 2 demons from the beginning of the game, but we don't have to fight them at all. So we're just gonna say hi and bye. And onto a Mystic Knight. We know what to do. Just Fireball. And we're up to 82 MP, chat. We have more than enough to get through the rest of the game. Everything else we get from here is a bonus. On to the second half of the Dungeons of Eternity here. I wasn't kidding. This is 2 levels guised as 1. And we're about to meet True Evil, chat. I warned you about them before. I'll warn you about them again. It's the Starfish. The Menaces are back. Truly a sign that they spawn from the underworld and are out to destroy us. So we're out to blow them up before they can dive at us. Defeating all of the... Hello, last Starfish. Where you at? There he is, hiding off screen. Defeating all the Starfish here will cause this platform to raise. And on to even more new mechanics. We have a platform that moves when you stand on the correct arrow in the direction that you're standing on. You never see this mechanic anywhere else. It's only implemented here. Shout outs to implementing new stuff at the very last dungeon of the game. These archers are here, along with archer traps. I am going to fireball them as best I can and try to get them shot by their own archer traps to get through this room quickly. Over here, we have a very new mechanic. It's a 4-directional lever. Thankfully, we only need to pull it to the right to spawn the key that we need, and we're out. Pushing it up would lower down one of those gates, and pushing it to the left would spawn a chalice. Pulling it down would lower another gate. That's stuff we just don't need to do. There's 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots, you're out. Say goodbye, archers. Making our way back through the demonic Starfish over here. They are out to get me, man. They really do not like me. I'm trying to get on this platform. We're going to go east this time. Ride the platform on over. Get a little momentum right there with a little spin. Jump early. Get over here. Onto a very cathartic room. This monster terrorized us before, but now we got a magic sword. Blow it up. Get our revenge. That's the name of the game, chat. On to more flame traps, and again, say it with me, chat. If it can't see you,
It can't hurt you.
There we go. So pop a stealth right here. Thankfully, my platform timing here is pretty tight, so don't need to worry about that. I don't need to see my shadow to get up here. Onto a room. We're going to switch to Thunder. All the enemies in here are weak to Thunder damage. I'm going to stay as far south as I can. These pillars will fall if I get close to them. I'm going to try to lure. There we go. There's some mushrooms down here. We're going to avoid them, jumping up on this platform. Trying to get this window with the flame timing down to just barely avoid that flame trap. Onto some very mean dragonettes. They're not mean on the way in. I have to double back through this room on the way out. And because they're facing westward when I come in, they will unfortunately do a 360 spin in whatever direction I approach them from and more than likely clip me on the way out. Hopefully they don't, but we're going to hide from these cheese graters. Again, if it can't see you, can't hurt you. Try to get this, there we go, magic power. And just stay hidden from those, and then we're going to come into this room and make a big old leap of faith down on this platform. Never worried. Onto that key that we spawned 4 rooms ago. All that just for a key. Now we're going to drop down here below this upper platform to push a switch to activate an elevator so we can get out of here. Say goodbye to the flaming platforms. We're never going to see those again. It was nice knowing you. There's our elevator. Unfortunately, it's pretty slow. And there's the end of our infinite magic. It's okay, though. We get enough MP to get through the run. I'm going to go ahead and grab the backup heal right here. Turn invisible and run on acid. Listen to that crunching. All right, let's see if I can clip by dragonettes here. I could hide from them. That's a little slow, though. Oh, they were nice today. Very nice, very nice. Uppy up. On the way out. And the true menace of the underworld. What is it? What's terrifying behind this door? It's a mushroom. Mushrooms are truly evil. In this game. I love eating mushrooms normally. Back to the first section of the Dungeon of Eternity here. We're going to have a couple fights. One of them with a friend you all know and love, the big, the dopey, the oblivious, giant red knight. We know what to do for him. We're going to give him the good old 1-2 combo of mind magic into thunder. For the 1-2 KO here, going to lure him back just a little bit. Come on. Taking a swing at me. Not very kosher, but it's okay. He's going to spawn a key right here. There we go. Going to run around these mushrooms right here. Again, mushrooms really out to get me. Along with starfish. I don't know why. Grabbing fire magic. The game gives me a full HP and full MP potion right here. And we're back at the drawbridges, so we're going to go ahead and lower the gate now that we have the key to the final boss door. We have 2 bosses. Long walk to this door, chat. All right, got to get in serious mode here. So our first fight here is against Crastle. It's a refight, very much like the original fight. However, the pillars here have much more HP. They'll be destroyed in the first hit like last time, but after subsequent respawns, they get more and more HP. So depending on RNG here, this fight can be pretty slow or pretty fast. We'll see how Crastle treats me tonight. Again, trying to get the fireball to hit the wall to trigger the explosion or hit the skeletons to trigger the explosion before hitting Crastle herself. 1 in 3 chance. Nope, 1 in 4. Here we go. I'm going to try to lower the health on this platform here. I I got baited. It's okay. There's another one. Got hit, but that's okay. Another shot. 3 more should do it here. I'm going to try to get a couple more hits on this platform just so I can one-shot it in case she jumps to it. There we go. That should be enough. From downtown. There we go. $50-50 here. Which one is it going to be? It's going to be the close one. Ah, getting bullied. Oh, missed. Unfortunate. I am getting trolled here. 1, 2. Oh no, desperation attack. That's not what I wanted to see. 1, 2, 3. 1. You would. Getting trolled by Crassel here. This is a huge time loss normally in a world record attempt, unfortunately. And down she goes. It was the last one she gave me trouble on. And again, we got the glitched animation. So on now directly to the final boss, chat. This is going to be a very arduous fight. I will need a little bit of serious time. But we are armed with our trusty Fireball. So all we have to do is believe in the power of Fireball, chat. Believe in Fireball with me and count them out for me. The Demon King's resurrection has destroyed the world, and empowered by our rage, we are taking on the final boss in all of his glory. 1, 2, 3. He's down. That's not time. There's a second phase. Yeah, no, the power of Fireball just trivialized that fight. I found that one day just out of frustration, spamming Fireball as soon as the fight started. Turns out that's the optimal route. That's the optimal strat. So again, ooh, Fireball right off the start. Again, taking a key out of my page right here. Gonna go ahead and heal. We're a little low on HP. That scream right there is the pattern I want, though. So we're gonna jump. There we go. That's the pattern I want. Trying to get him hit by the shockwave. Unfortunately, he takes off in the air. Got a bad pattern here, but that's okay. We're going to adapt. Double shockwave. Into another Fireball. Again, he's learning, chat. He's adapting. Into a beam attack. This is wild, but not unrecoverable. Tried to be cheeky with a Fireball cast right there. Into the counter swipe. That's the pattern I'm looking for. Now, one thing I have to warn you of, chat, if I do not get the final hit with an impale on the head here, it will not be timed. Let's see. Nope. There we go. And time. 226 is not bad at all. That is well under 230. World record right now, it's 219. Shout outs to the community, Uber Fate, Desmond, and Muchuo. Those 3 have been incredible in helping cultivate this route. I could not do this all myself. It is truly a community effort. It's a very, very small community. I'm proud to be of it. And I hope you all enjoyed this run of Dragon Valor. A true gem in the rough. I love it. I hope you all loved it, chat. But that is going to do it for me. Thanks so much for having me, RPG Limit Break. And let's go ahead and get back on track to getting on time. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you very much for the great run. I do have a one last comment here. It says from Wumbo Style for $10. It says, really entertaining run. Thanks for the fun dialogue and the expert gameplay. while we're getting things set up for the next run, I do want to read out we have a $25 donation from Anonymous. Thank you very much for that donation. And I also do want to point out that we are now in a new prize block. So we have prizes coming up for the Chocobo and Moogle Small Cube plushies. Those have a $5 minimum donation. We have the Super Mario RPG Switch game and plush set. And we have the Xenosaga 2 for the PS2. Those both have a $10 minimum donation. That's starting at the start of this run and moving on until the end of Indivisible 80%. set up, I just want to throw out, we have a $50 anonymous donation, so thank you very much for that donation. And also, I just want to say that we at RPG Lunch Break would like to thank our sponsors, Miss America and Deck 13. I do have a message here from Deck 13. It says, blah, 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 some marketing speech here about how great we are. Honestly, who cares? Yes, we publish games, and you should only care for the games. Enjoy our games, whitelist them, and support full indies. Take a good look at Drova, Spindle, Elements Destiny, Chained Echoes, and Crosscode. And I'm going to be signing off here. Once again, this has been Red Silvers. I'm going to be passing it over to RJ Smenga. He's going to take you through this next run, so give him a lot of your energy, guys, and thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name's RJ Smeng, and I'll be your host for the next little bit of this Bat and Kaitos run that's up and coming. Before we get started, I just want to mention some of the incentives for it that are coming up. We have the Choose the Fourth Companion incentive. There is a final boss at 200% speed incentive. There's also an incentive that says get the shampoo bottle, which I don't know anything about, but it excites me in a way that I can't explain. And then we also have an incentive to name the spirit. So if you're interested in sniping any of those incentives or helping us meet them so we can show them off this run, feel free to put your donations towards those incentives.